So we are holding the meeting at 4:30. It has Johnny McLaughlin, Val Oliver, Jesse Dutra, and Abby Kemp, and myself. Ray Pohl and TJ and Stephen are not here due to Thanksgiving, and we will continue to say that if you want to record anything, if you would let us know. It is being recorded, but just let us know if you're going to do it. If you want to get into a conversation with somebody next to you, please take it out to the hall so that our rather tenuous audio can work. What else now? Public comment. Is there any public comment that has to do with something that's not on the agenda? All right, I'm not hearing any. We will go on to...
Madam Chair, you'll have to make a motion to approve the agenda.
Oh.
I thought we were mixing things.
Do you want, don't you want to knock things off before we approve?
Actually, the only one real thing to knock off is item number 8 under new business, which is Nantucket Public Schools.
Okay, but what about all those people on hold and stuff?
That you can just make a motion to hold for representation.
Okay. So we will, I would look for approval of the consent agenda, which is 1 through 53. If anybody has any questions about them, we'll pull them. Otherwise, I would like a motion to approve.
I think there's an applicant here that wanted to see some changes.
We just made some minor revisions, and we'd just like to keep the application open just so you can finish it off today.
In the roof change on Fair Street, is that to, is that a,
They're going to 3-tab black 3-tab.
just
So
regular?
what are you doing? What?
Von Campen.
Yeah.
So it's just some
Roberto.
administration revisions.
Number 35 on consent.
On Campen, on Pulpus Road?
Yes, please.
Alrighty.
What number is that?
35.
Consent.
Do you want to make a motion to move that off of the agenda?
All right, yes, so moved. I'll make that motion to take 34, 35, and 36 off, and 37 off the agenda.
Off the consent
Off
agenda?
the consent.
35
It's just 35
and 37.
and then 37.
Okay, 35 and 37 off the consent agenda and move it over. If we
To
could-
where?
To first of new business.
All right, so we still have to
We have to approve
approve
this.
the agenda.
Yep.
Motion to approve the agenda.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Alrighty. Then the consent with conditions. We
Well,
need-
wait, motion to approve consent,
Yep,
pulling 35 and 37 off
yep,
for discussion at the beginning of your business.
yes.
You're, sorry, Val, you have a few projects on this.
So I can't say it, okay.
Well, that's a good motion, though. Will you make that motion?
Aye, I make that motion.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Johnny, are you? Aye. So, that is that. Then the next is consent with conditions, which is
Motion
just,
to approve consent with conditions.
all right, all those for,
Aye.
All right.
you go with the consent with, for conditions?
You just moved 35 and 30.
7 off and putting it in the
New business.
number 1 of new business.
Well, on new business. Okay.
Yeah. Now we're doing consent with conditions, and there's nothing that has to be moved there, so we made a motion to approve. All right, so that takes care of that. The next thing we have to do is go to signs, and our sign man is right here.
All right, number 1 for Kilbert at 1 117 Pleasant is still on hold. They're working on a master sign plan. Somebody would like to make a motion, continue holding that one.
Okay,
Go ahead.
So moved.
all right, we have a motion to hold, again, number 1 of 117 Pleasant Street. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And numbers 2 and 3 for 41 Main and 54 and a half Old South are approved with that comment.
Oh, great. Motion to approve 2 and 3 per sign committee notes.
With comments, you said, right?
Yeah.
All right. All those in
Aye.
favor of that, 2 and 3?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you. Thank you. Have a good Thanksgiving.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thanksgiving.
All right, so it is you, Ron.
Now it's both ones that were moved, right?
Yeah.
For Pulpus.
Yeah.
So am I going through the entire application or just the revisions, John? That I
The
made?
application.
Okay, that's fine.
Do we have?
So this is an existing dwelling at 4 Public Road. We are changing all the existing fenestration doors from old Brosco 1960s to new Andersons. And there's a picture window on the front south elevation. We're going to change that to a triple. There is a double mulled window on the right-hand side valve that we're going to separate.
Yep.
And then we're gonna add a bathroom addition off to the east side. We're gonna remove the furnace chimney and put in a real fireplace on the front.
Oh, we like those.
Yep. And then on the east elevation, we're adding a bathroom ward, basement access, a master bedroom addition, with another, and then some egress windows down below. And on the north elevation, we are adding some French doors and a little wart coming off what is the existing breezeway into the kitchen, and adding 2 windows on the existing bathroom, existing garage for powder room and laundry room. And then on the west elevation, again, new windows, and you can see the master bedroom wing, which will have a French door and a window that will access the bedroom.
All right, just to get things, the north elevation, you're not going to be able to see, right? What about the west?
The west is about 3 feet from the property line and is heavily vegetated. So
I know it is, I just wondered, you
You
can't
can't-
see it
you can't
coming
see
down.
it.
And
What's the
east-
material there?
that is a 1x8 red cedar natural.
The east, you can see a little bit, can you not, when you're coming down past?
Yes, slight. You'll see the bathroom addition.
Okay.
So you will be able to see the one C window facing the street.
Right, and the south is the front door.
Correct.
Okay.
And so what we are going to do is right now there is access to the garage, but we want to pull that back and have 2 parking spaces and then just have like seasonal driving back and forth the garage, really not make it as quite as accessible as it is now, 2 lanes.
Okay, anybody ready to begin?
I'm ready to begin.
All right,
I know, I think the design is an improvement, and I think it's great.
Ditto.
Motion to approve.
thank you. for
Oh, yeah,
coming.
motion to approve. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. So we did the 37, this is the garage.
This is just a crazy change. I had a 12/12 roof pitch, and I changed this to an 8 roof pitch to match existing house.
Ah,
Yes, I'm
are you kidding me?
No, but I. Blame John. He's doing his due diligence. No, John.
ready to start on this one.
Oh, geez. This is from a 12 to an 8?
Yeah.
Seriously? All
Go
right,
for
a
it,
motion
Amy.
to approve, yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No opposed?
You're gonna try some of these stroop waffles from Holland.
Everyone have a happy Thanksgiving.
You too, thank you.
See you around.
Happy Thanksgiving.
See you down home.
Anybody have an extra pen?
I have a pencil. Oh, you got a pencil.
I got a pencil. Thank you.
Woo!
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, the next one
Nice.
is 48 Appleton.
What are they called? Strudel hoppers?
Stroop waffles. They're,
Motion to hold 48 Apple for
Okay,
representation.
aye.
all those in favor?
Aye.
All right. So the next one is 7 Judith Chase Lane.
Wow, those are naughty.
Yeah.
Bad, naughty.
I haven't even really tried one in there.
You want to say, and then I'll read the,
Sure. Thank you. Steve Thorell for the applicant, along with
Amy Callenberg.
who's the landscape designer. The first one is the potting shed. Is that correct, John?
Yes.
Okay. A potting shed, a small, single-story structure for the owner to grow flowers and vegetables in a traditional fashion, an old-fashioned potting shed.
Not pot.
So,
well,
Potting shed.
potting shed, that's it.
It's very trendy these days, you know.
Yeah.
all right, this is for that. And Hashab says, please remind applicant that previous approval was conditioned on side yard remaining unimproved and in perpetuity. View through yard is highly visible from Judith Chase and Grace Court and is a significant historic open remaining green space in town. And that was with 3 people, Matthew, Tennant, Jason, and Brooke.
Thank you.
I am not sure that that is something that's in our purview.
What,
Well,
that you can see it?
Well, there's-
Keeping a lot empty.
Oh, no. What's-
And if there's gonna be something there, a one-story structure, to me, is highly favorable.
I think it's,
I think, the owner, when he purchased the property, understood the requirements and stuff, but I don't think there's any legal statute or status regarding the installation of a single-story building prohibited on the property.
Well, yeah, except that usually sheds are in the back of the lot.
Right, but it's not a shed.
What is this?
Well, it's
Potting shed.
a potting shed,
Uh-huh.
and it's a small structure, and it's kind of situated relationship so that it's at the edge of the house, not directly on the street.
Steve, what's the setback on, frontage setback on this?
Zero.
In fact, it goes into the street, as if I remember it. Isn't it
Zero,
1
yes,
foot
a
into
zero
the street?
setback, Jesse.
Steve, just because I have to ask, is
Yes.
there a I don't have a problem where it is, but is there a problem with moving it to the far corner?
Well, the owner has it situated, if you'll see, in Amy's landscape plan, there is a herb garden going
Okay, we don't
around,
have that yet,
around
so.
that, which you'll see.
Okay.
And the owner would like to have it in this location, but I guess, that would be something for you guys to
Yeah, the shed, I mean, that, but it's very tall, would be on the north side and then shading the herb garden.
I don't see that.
Yeah, there's no, they don't have a landscape there.
So,
Right, 'cause it's coming up.
So, just to
on the
be
north,
fair,
it's not gonna shade.
should we hold it and look at the next
You
one?
wanna hold it?
Yeah,
the landscape
and
plan?
look at the
Okay.
two together.
Which is the third one?
Yeah, we tried to keep it as small and as low as possible.
No, I
Yeah.
appreciate that, just,
And on the, I guess, while we got the building here, because the building won't be here, well, I guess, yeah, it will be here. But the east elevation, that is south, north, south, east, there's no windows going towards the house, that's for shelves or,
That is towards the neighbor's house.
oh, it is?
Yes.
I'm getting my bearings wrong, sorry. Okay.
Okay?
okay, which faces the street? What elevation?
The one with
South.
the window in it.
what is this
Okay.
one?
Okay? Yeah. The doors face the main house, and the blank wall faces the neighbor.
Does it have a well or something?
There's a well there, yeah,
Let me see. Did I get one of those?
an existing well.
Did you guys get the landscape?
I think that's
It's
coming.
coming. John, that's the landscape plan
Right.
that goes with the shed. Oh, I'm gonna Fran.
Okay. It is the same three. It says granite curb on side of Cobble Drive seems superfluous, given the informal nature of the cobble parking area. Granite steps need dimensions. Moon arbor, okay, between guest house and garage, but not street. Picket fence is appropriate, simple, no trellis. Formal veggie garden needs to be back from street. An informal garden that sits softly in landscape would be appropriate.
So it's in front of the shed.
Right, that's the little,
I think that any type of garden in this location is a huge improvement onto the street facade landscape that's there. Taking into consideration that you have that large inn that is there, that is being renovated right now up the street, and a bunch of garages that are on Lucretia Mott Lane with doors that front the road. I don't see how a garden really comes into effect here as far as its having a
well, they
problem.
weren't saying that a garden wasn't appropriate. They said an informal garden, one that sort of uses the landscape, would be the most appropriate. They're not saying you can't have it.
No, I understand that, Dan. Diane, the land is flat. And Amy's going to be using beds.
Yeah, the goal of the property is to have the gardens reflect a classic Nantucket that matches the integrity of the home, to be carefree, understated, useful to the family, and just a peaceful setting. So the goal is for it to be understated and to keep the integrity of the open space, large yard, open space, not overplanted.
Do you have any pictures? Because I can't remember what it looks like.
I believe. Because it does say on the thing
I mean,
that
of the site, not of
original approval was conditioned on the side yard remaining unimproved forever in perpetuity.
The majority of the side yard is lawn. It is going to be lawn. There's the existing well that sits centered. The neighboring house is right on the property line, and so they do have, hopes to improve that side of the property because the neighbor's house is directly on the property line.
What kind of planting are you thinking of having up in that east corner?
The goal is to use, in that area, viburnum and some hinoki cypress are on the list. There is, in the northeast corner, that's where the vegetable garden is, correct?
No, the vegetable garden
It's
is
the
on the
southeast.
southeast
Oh, I'm
corner.
sorry. There's two huge trees,
That's
existing
there
trees
now.
that are there now.
Okay.
And so there's not a lot that's gonna thrive underneath them, so we're going for, lots of ground cover and shrubbery. Viburnum is the main shrub that's in that area. We are not closing in the yard with any hedges, so there's going to be a nice open feeling.
I think, just because I'm sorry, I haven't, I don't remember exactly what this looks like. I'd like to, view it
Right, I think
with the
we need
plan,
to.
just to scan the street. I mean, I believe what Steve's telling me, but I don't remember it, and there's no picture, so,
That's fine. No problem with you viewing it, Val.
yeah.
Okay?
And I do have a question here. It says with a little asterisk, the HVAC is enclosed with metal fencing.
That,
No, great.
that has changed, since the last meeting, that there's going to be a grate over the top of it, a metal grate over the top of it. No longer will it be enclosed with fencing.
It's gonna be dug in.
It's sunk down below the ground.
So you can't see it from,
Right.
from the street.
Correct.
Why do you have pea stone on the left side of the guest house? I'm just curious. Like, why isn't that vegetation?
It's a very narrow space, and it's dark, and vegetation, if there was vegetation there, you wouldn't be able to pass around the buildings.
Abby, it's a 6-foot walkway between the neighbor's fence, which is a tall fence, and the side of that building. And Amy felt the easiest way to keep that clean and free of obstruction
Is it
and trash
here
would be
they're talking
pea stone rather than grass.
I think they're talking about on the property line. They're
That
talking about on the
doesn't,
property-
that's
I
H.
think
That says basket weave brick.
we're
But it
talking-
doesn't go all the way to the back, it
Yeah.
changes to
They're
pea
talking between
stone?
the two buildings.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't go all the way back. It's
What's at the, where it says pea stone, what's there now?
Dirt.
dirt, weeds.
I was just wondering if you continued that brick and shrubbery to the left, just looking down, I think it would be more of a, sort of a naturalistic, instead of just, I know people love dumping
Yeah.
pea stone around the house
Yeah.
for drainage and stuff.
Yeah. There is no, it's not visible but to anyone. There's a gate that separates the two
Yes,
spaces.
yeah.
But it's really just so there's, because it's a narrow space and to get around all those buildings with ease, I think is important to them.
Plus, again, if you go there, you'll see there's a huge tree behind the guest house, which throws a lot of shade on this location.
Yeah, so let's view before we pick apart the nitty gritty.
If you draw any more plans, mark the trees that are there. It's hard to us
That would be great.
to pick out what tree is there.
Okay.
Sure.
If those trees will be cut down.
Yeah, we're not cutting trees
Right,
down.
so, but if you mark it, it'll make it more, we can understand, and perhaps bring in, if you're putting viburnum or whatever, put in the typical height that the viburnum grows to, whether it's the short viburnum or tall and lanky, if we're trying to keep this as gentle an intrusion as possible, that would give us some idea of what the end of it's going to look like, and I would take a vote for a view of the property.
And if you can send us this, John, so we can have it when we're looking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Should we trace the rest of the file?
So the herb garden is in that corner, the southeast corner, and then beyond that is the shed.
Just wait to approve the other stuff.
Yeah, because if,
I mean, it kind of all coincides. Right?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you might as well.
Yeah.
There's no rush, right?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Always a rush.
That was yesterday.
No,
so
but
you know.
I'd like to
I don't wanna
also
hold you up if you're, you know, if you're trying to
view
get a
it
building.
for
permit.
the
No.
proximity
Yeah.
of the shed to the
Yeah.
street.
Yeah,
too.
no, that's fine, Val. The only other item on the agenda was the installation of a window on the first floor.
Oh, we have
We
it down
can-
as a window
Okay.
shed.
We can look at that.
Okay, and I'm just gonna add, no, we can, wait, you can go view, I'm just gonna add these two to the file, okay?
Okay,
These are two windows, they're second floor windows on the same street.
okay, on
This is on Lucretia Mott Lane,
Lucretia Mott.
this is on Judith Chase, okay? My client wants to put a picture window in the family room on the first floor, not the second floor, but the first floor, okay? So take that into consideration when you go view the site, we'll come back and see you in a couple of weeks or wherever the
Yes.
next
May
meeting
have
is.
been there before the HTC, Mr. Sylvia put it there.
Oh, don't tell me that, John.
I'm telling you.
John, I asked if we could view before we make a decision.
Yeah, did we take a vote on that?
No.
No,
Let's do
I've
that.
asked for a motion
Oh,
to hold for view.
So motion.
That first.
Okay.
Is that for all three?
Yes,
Yes.
we're going to put them all together. And because they all fit together, it will be the best.
And when would the next meeting be heard?
In 2 weeks,
So we're not,
Tuesday.
next
Okay.
Tuesday.
Thank you very much.
All right?
Yeah,
We'll
great.
go look.
like, what's going on next Tuesday? Yeah.
Thank you for coming. Have a good Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Okay, so that is a view.
Uh-oh.
Anybody object to my having any comments?
No, you can have the comments. We were just going to put it all on a view and
Right, but I have some comments. Where are they going?
they're in a hurry.
I have like a simple question right here.
Okay?
All
That's-
drawings supposed to be a quarter inch. At a quarter inch, that's 18 feet high.
Thank you.
I don't know the scale on it, you know? And the other one is the window that's gonna be in the shed facing the street.
Right,
It's a multi-pane window.
yeah.
And I would
That
think,
picture you just had.
I would think that they would at least try to match the windows in the house and put two double hung windows in that small shed instead of this large
Thing.
oversized window.
Right, well, we bring all those
That's a good
to
point.
his attention on next
I
Tuesday.
wonder if we couldn't have the drawings of the house brought to that, because then we could look at that.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
was no pictures of anything, so I mean,
Yeah, I'll email the plans.
Just see the window, see how that shed window relates. Thank you, John.
All right, so that is going to be viewed next, and it will be on next Tuesday. And he is to either send or bring pictures of what they propose as landscaping and stuff should be 1/4 inch scale drawings. So can I get a vote on that? Again, just for those things.
So moved.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, the next is, may we go back to Frank Kovac at 28 Appleton Road, which was number 1.
Sorry guys, a bit late. I didn't realise you started at 4:30 today.
Yeah, we
we
switch
always
it.
start at
you know.
4:30.
Oh, you do? God forbid. I always think you start at 5.
All those in favor of putting it back on the agenda?
That was my idea about half a year ago.
Well, maybe
John,
I don't really
we're-
pay attention.
Okay.
Well, maybe you should.
Why? You'll
These aren't
notice.
1/4 inch either. Well, I'm gonna have a problem.
What are you doing,
It
Chris?
says 1/4 inch, they're like half inch.
Have you,
This is the plot plan. I was informed that we've been given the plot plan, so
It's right here.
well, it doesn't have anything on it, so this does have something on it.
okay, we take that.
This is the proposed cottage.
All right, so I can tell you right away, without seeing the house or any pictures, I would want to see where it was going because it's in front of the house. And this is 2-story.
This is a garage. This garage here with an apartment above it.
Correct,
Yeah.
but that's big, honey.
You have
We don't
27
know what the
feet.
house looks like.
It can't be 27 feet.
Yeah.
Have you been down Appleton Road, lady?
No. So, John, I'm asking if we could view this one because we don't have any pictures of the house, and this is in front of the house, and it's not a 1/4-inch scale. This is a 1/2 inch.
That's the house, right? There's no plot plan.
No,
He
just
just
go get
gave
the
it
plot
to
plan
us.
here, John.
Johnny has
Where is it on here?
in the front.
You see where that big yellow thing is, circles?
No, he got it all in yellow.
Yeah. So my apologies, is that one there?
Screws us up.
This
They're
one?
shooting themselves in the foot without doing it.
What's that?
Not putting pictures in, you're not the only person. It's happened every single application tonight. We can't do anything.
Johnny, look at your plot.
It could be a 1-story house. And in that case, I would say no.
You say no to a garage?
In front of the house.
A 27
Where
foot
would you
high
put it?
one.
We put it behind it?
Yeah, or next to it.
Yeah.
The dirt road ends right there.
I know, but do you know what this house looks like? I don't.
I can't remember. I didn't know. But it's not a big one.
If we can't see it, maybe it's not a big deal. It's next to Jack Pignato.
So,
What's the, first floor materials?
It's all shingle. It is all
All wood.
shingle. Yeah, that will all be shingle. It's, my apologies, there's no shingles drawn on there. They will all be shingle. The shingle walls, everything will be shingle.
Everything down
Yeah,
there,
will all be shingle.
all around the
Yeah,
garage.
everything will be shingle. It's just
So
that they,
the house is a cape.
yeah.
So I think it's important to see the site
Right.
in case this is tucked in where you can't see it.
right.
Motion to hold for review.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions they'd like to
Well,
ask?
I guess I have a question. So which elevation faces the street?
Yeah,
This one?
no, this, you're my apologies, that's right. Front elevation is here,
Yes, I see that,
and then
yeah.
I believe it's, left elevation. Is that
Okay,
what we
left.
determined? Left elevation.
So that would be left. This
Yeah.
is left.
Yeah.
With no fence.
No what?
Well, you've got two windows.
Yeah. You want to put some more windows in?
I don't know. Let's see if we can see it.
So this you'd see from the street.
Just so you know,
Yeah.
a street is a very loose term. Appleton Road finishes about 5 houses prior to this house. And then becomes a dirt path, walkway, street. So, yeah, it's not exactly a highly travelled area. So, the reason, if you look at the plot plan, the gentleman that owns the property wants to keep the trees so you don't see it. Okay? And if your concern is the fact that you see it from a highly travelled area, we can push it back further too. So,
Chrissy, do you have to notify the abutters?
I believe the butters were notified, yeah.
Just simpler garage doors, or are these,
Perfect. We can do simpler garage doors.
what about enclosing this somehow? If you might see this from the street, what about a trellis or somehow to disguise that?
What elevation are you on?
I'm on the left,
The left. Okay.
that faces Appleton.
Faces Appleton Road.
That
Okay.
is
If actually yeah, okay, we can do that. Or we can move it so you can't see it from Appleton Road.
okay. Yeah, have you got something that you've already said?
I said I'd like to view it.
Right.
Okay, all I do.
The left is the
Do you want to
west.
see pictures?
No,
you wanna see-
we
you
That would
wanna
have been
view?
good. Yeah.
And the other thing, as I said before, you cannot have a 27-foot high garage with an apartment over it. Its highest can be is 25 feet.
Excellent.
This is at 27.9,
Okay.
so just for your next drawing, keep that in mind. And may I take a
Yes,
vote?
John.
Johnny, have you got something you want to say?
Yes.
Okay,
If you look at these plans, if these are submitted, it's from the ground level to the top is 27 foot, right?
mm-hmm,
Why are there no windows and no shingles?
Those shingles are incorrectly drawn, John. with
Wait,
some of the
wait,
other
wait,
ones,
wait, it doesn't say that. What I'm saying is, John, on the application, what's it say for sidewalk? Please.
It's, cedar shingles. White
These
cedar.
shingles.
Yeah.
You don't want any windows in it.
No. If you'd like us to put windows in it, you can put windows in it. But we
Well,
won't
if you
propose
drive, if you look in and you can see the thing, you know, there's this whole portion.
It's a garage. Yeah. It's a garage, so we can put windows in it if you'd like to put windows in it. You can't really see it from anywhere, so
You know, everybody can say you can't see it. That's why, with my I don't like to make mistakes if I can help it.
perfect.
And we should go through it, but a lot of
we're
them,
going to.
I know, but I'm making a comment.
Oh,
A lot of
okay.
people come in and say it.
Say what?
A couple of them come in and say, the minute they sit down and say, you can't see it from anywhere.
I didn't say that. I said you
I'm
can't
not
really
talking
see
about
it.
you, I'm talking about the normal thing that comes in here
Yeah.
from the public, okay?
Cool.
We're trying to do our job.
Excellent. And you
Well,
do a
we
great job, John.
We can't do our job, if we ain't got all the information.
Great. Okay. So
Thank
you're
you.
going to go for a view?
Did you make a,
Yes.
did you make a motion?
Yes.
Jesse made the motion.
All right, all those in
Just
favor
made a mo-
of the
aye.
motion to hold for review, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Johnny, you
Yes, yes.
good?
yes, thank
So
you.
everybody is good with that.
Excellent.
That'll be for next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday?
Does anybody want
I was going to say,
poles
do you want anything
No.
before
or
Tuesday?
corners?
I don't.
I think if you want to go on the lot, I think you're allowed on the lot. You'll see that it's plotted.
Okay.
Okay.
If that makes any sense to
Thank
you.
you.
See those
That's-
corners
yeah.
there, yeah?
I'm
All right,
fine with
guys,
that.
thank you very much.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank
Happy
you.
holidays.
I'm sorry.
All right,
You brought these on the way back from Holland?
so,
did.
They are so fantastic.
number 5, 12 West Creek Realty at 78 Old South Road, adding a hoop barn. Do we have Chris Ryder?
He was not feeling well. Said he
Okay.
would be able to-
So we have a motion to hold.
Motion to hold for representation.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Alrighty. Johnny, we're holding
Yes,
number 5
okay, all right,
for
thank you.
representation. The next one would be 1 Grove Lane, James K., with a front door.
Hi there. Is one at the, is it on the North Liberty end, or is it on beyond New Street? Going- Yeah, the Grove Lane, there's one that's sort of, I guess it's all sort of dirt road, isn't it?
Literally at the peak, at the point of the park. So
Okay,
it's Grove Lane and Liberty where it points,
okay.
like right overlooking the park.
Right next to Woodbury,
Would you,
on the corner.
you are just asking for a front door?
My client wants to put the Dutch door in.
Okay, I will read you what Hashab has to say. It said 9-light door is not appropriate. Bungalow house needs bungalow door.
So typically, James, the bungalow style would have like a 6-light with 2 panels or 1 panel below.
Okay.
This is more of a kitchen door, very informal, and we don't approve those as front doors, especially in town.
Oh, this is the Worth House.
So swap that out to 6-light.
But I don't think you can get
A Dutch
a
door.
Dutch door as a 6-light.
So no Dutch door.
Well,
You can try,
I love it.
Okay.
but I
She
like
was just
Dutch
thinking-
doors.
Because she has a huge front porch and it's right there on the park. She was just thinking that like just for the air access because there's only 2 windows in the front of her right there,
Yeah.
and so she was like
Which is weird.
she could leave it wide open.
Yeah, it's a strange, it's a
Well,
funny.
see what you can find. There are Dutch doors around,
Okay.
because we have gotten them. I'm
So-
not sure about the lights, but give it a shot.
So no lights or 6-light.
So do you know what we mean by the bungalow style door?
I do.
They're,
She picked these doors as to her what she likes.
you know,
She wants
But
some
this
windows.
is, look up and down the street there.
Yep.
It's very common to this style of house. I don't know if you can get that as a Dutch door necessarily. You might have to have it made.
Yeah, if we go custom, if it's that important, we can go custom. To her.
But it definitely, unfortunately, can't be a 9-light door.
Okay.
Yeah, because it has to read as a front door. And
Johnny, do you have something to say?
One comment, it should not be a Dutch door. It should be a solid door. There are no Dutch doors in the neighborhood, and it's out of character for the neighborhood.
Okay.
for the front door.
Yes.
This is, okay, so,
Motion to hold for revisions.
revisions.
see
Yeah.
what you can come up with.
So come up with another,
If
if I
you-
can come up with a 6-light
Mhm.
Dutch door, come
Yes.
back.
Come back in touch, well, this week I don't know how it works. When do they have to get revisions to you?
Technically tomorrow, but I think that's, it's a small
Yeah,
thing in my opinion, so we could just.
put it on the agenda and you can bring it.
In the black's okay, regardless.
Yeah, that's okay as a front door.
Okay.
What's
I think
the
that was the other point.
What's the, looks like the other trim is all white, right?
The trim is white. They painted the door. It's totally not original. But the door that's existing there is like a red color.
Yeah, it's like
But,
a reddish brown.
The door is not original either.
Mm-mm.
That's like a 80s door,
Mm-hmm.
and it swings the wrong way, and it's got a crack in it. So should I bother with it? Looking for the Dutch door for the 6-light
Yeah,
Dutch
just
door,
come back with an alternative to the, what is it, a 9-light? What is
Not
that?
all of us feel that way, but it's
So 6-light bungalow style Dutch door,
Or Dutch door?
Yeah.
or a 6-light bungalow style door
yeah,
for the next time around.
yeah.
Right,
Cool.
And if you find it and can get it to John by tomorrow, but he says even if you can't,
I'm satisfied, you're
Just
gonna
let
get
'em know.
6-panel door in front.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to find 2 versions and see what I can do.
Thank you.
okay, so that is,
hold for revisions.
Awesome.
it's whole for revisions.
Yep.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Bye.
All right, thank you.
Thank
you
you.
very much.
See you.
Have
Bye.
a good Thanksgiving.
You too. Thank you.
The next one is 11 Wood Lily Road. It's an addition of a shed. And the guy is Chris Humphrey.
He's not in.
All right, so may I have a motion to hold for
Motion to hold
representation?
for representation.
All righty. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The number 8 is being,
Been hold.
has been held, and is out. The next one is 142 Cliff with Sophie.
I'm sorry, school, you're gonna hold it?
Yep.
Thank you.
8 withdrew
They
it for the,
pulled that off.
They pulled it at the beginning of the meeting, the school.
Motion to hold 142 Cliff, Sophie Metz.
Sophie Metz is on hold. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the next is 6 Boynton Lane, rooftop solar panels.
Wait, what about 9 Franklin?
Oh, I'm sorry, Alex. Hoo-hoo.
Who is here?
6 point.
6,
We'll
Well-
hold number 10, which
can I
is-
make a motion to hold 9 and 10 for representation?
Yes.
And go right to 6 Boynton.
Yep.
All those in favor?
All those in favor of that?
Aye.
Okay, so we're now going to see the solar panels. Six-
Well, you can come up. Are you the owner?
Yeah. I've never been to a meeting
Well, it's pretty scary. Scary business.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even have to drive by this. I'm okay with this. I remember, aren't there other solar panels around?
before. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I usually have an overhead that shows the other ones, the other locations of panels in that area, if you'd like to see that.
This is actually
Sure.
the best case scenario
Yeah.
because it's away from the street.
And it's on a black roof and it covers the whole thing.
I'm all for solar.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Not when it's
Yeah,
all
John, do you want to see how many other solars are in the area?
Could we have house for the record, please?
Sure. There's an Andrew Wade with My Generation Energy.
WADE?
That's correct.
Okay.
Douglas Hughes, homeowner.
Are the panels all black?
Yes. So the panels, it's a straight rectangle, 3 rows of 12 panels totaling 36, all black. And the racking underneath the panels is black, and it also ends at the end of the panel. So it doesn't, there's no racking that extends past the edge of the panels. It really is just a rectangle that follows the lines of that roof.
And this is going to be on the west side.
It's, yeah, the west-southwest, just barely, yeah, yep.
And how far off the roof?
There's about 2.5 inches from the roof to the bottom of the panel, 2.5 to 3 inches. So everything's flush mounted. Luckily, there's no vent pipes on that side, so it's.
So, what, Johnny, have you got something to say?
Yes. In the description here of it, my question is trying to find it right here. Okay. There's no direct design here of it other than this black square rectangular. Now, what you're trying to do is where you're going to have how many? 36?
There's 36 total.
36. The company doesn't distinguish the colors. Now, what's the colors on the application?
You just stated it was black, correct?
Yes.
Correct. They are in all black.
Excuse me. I don't hear well.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
It's not specified on the application, John. Something I think we need to update.
Okay, my question is, well, basically try to, a lot of them, they're black and they have that silver around them. I'm trying to make them all black.
Right.
Get the silver up because it reflects the sun.
Yep.
That way we get look like shingles.
Right.
Make them all black.
Yep. And these are 100% jet black.
If not, paint the outside.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, all black. Yep.
Thank you.
Motion to approve due to minimum visibility and the appropriateness to the neighborhood in that there are other solar panels in the neighborhood.
It's an appropriate application.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Cool. That's it.
That's it.
What you've heard is untrue.
That's
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
You can solar cook your turkey.
That'll be fast.
What about Paston?
Those are being held. That's Patty Rogaby.
Which one's Dave?
No, Dave is, we're not to it yet.
And the thorn walls are on hold also.
All right, do we have to make a bunch of,
Motion to hold 12 through 16 for representation.
12, 15, and 14?
Yep.
Yeah.
Cornwall too?
Hold them. Okay.
wow,
Thank you.
we are.
And the Thornwells aren't here, so we're holding 15 and 16.
Is that here?
Nope.
Ooh, boy. Yeah.
So the next one,
So moved.
so moved.
All in favor?
No, I just wanted to
Oh.
write those down. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Okay, so the next one is,
I said aye, yeah.
yep, is 63 Hammock Pond Road, as-built landscape.
BPC.
We're back up to 15 we're holding.
15 we're holding and 16 both of the loops.
Okay,
Thanks.
holding them. We're on 17.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
I thought the guys from BPC were here, but they're not. So, looks like we have to hold
17 as well?
17 as well.
Can I add that to Val's,
Yes,
hold? To
Hold
include
that.
17?
yes.
Rep, okay.
So moved.
The next one is Val Oliver. She
Me.
better be here.
Oh.
I was surprised this wasn't on consent, because it's way out past the beach club in Sankaty. We're moving a pool 20 feet.
Ooh, black walnuts. Thank you, John. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
Why are they new? Is it existing or is it just?
So a few
pre-approved?
weeks ago, you approved the demo of the existing pool and an approval of a slightly enlarged pool. However, it turns out the existing pool was put in without any knowledge at the health department, and it in fact is too close to the septic system. So we had to move the newly approved pool 20 feet farther north to get away from the septic.
You moved the pool?
We want to.
Oh, you haven't got the pool in yet?
The pool exists and we want to, we got a permission
help
to demo it and we're gonna move it because it's too close to the septic.
So is this the new location you have on the lot, on the plot plan?
Look on the next page, I have it drawn out as what's existing and then where it's moving to. It literally cannot be seen.
Okay. Uh-oh.
Don't say it.
No, it's
No.
true,
Don't
it's
say
true.
that.
In this case, it's true. And if it could be seen, it's still appropriate, it's just shifting.
Right.
Everything else is the same.
Right, the whole hedge,
Yeah.
everything else.
Yep.
All right, I don't have a problem with this, if anybody wanted to know.
Just for you.
I have no problem.
Johnny, do you have something you would like to say?
Yeah, I'm just a little confused, that's all. You're gonna move the pool.
20 feet north.
It's already in.
There is an existing pool that we got approval to demo and put in a new pool. We found out the new pool is too
Turn the
close.
page, John, and you'll
Right.
see, no, turn the page, and you'll
Right
see
here.
where,
Okay, I got
but
it.
show the picture.
Here's existing, and there's proposed. It's just shifting north
Because
because
of
of
the
the
septic.
septic.
Okay, it's going from here to there.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you. No, thank you.
Why?
I don't know, because it's Thanksgiving.
Do I have a motion?
Gobble, gobble, gobble.
Yeah, oh, motion to approve, sorry.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Dave,
So, on this one, there's no description, just has a number.
where?
Newport?
Peter Kaiser's.
There's nothing under description?
No,
Oh.
scope of work.
So we have some revisions, and Dave is here.
Okay.
This is a very sweet little cape.
Let's give her a hard time.
Yeah.
We'd like our railing, instead of balusters, to be cross
Box.
bucks, which we think are fabulous and simple.
Is this the same low K, or is this something else?
Same location.
No, this is on Newtown Court.
Oh, new
Dave Fredericks, the applicant,
Oh, Dave.
with the applicant.
Okay. Val, you want to tell us what's,
So it's very simple. We want to add hand railing where prior there was none. It's not that we need it, we like it.
yeah,
It's a little simple crossbucks. Instead of a Bilko on the east, we want to have a little set of basement stairs with a railing on the north. And we want to put a fence around some AC units, natural to weather. That's it.
And the AC unit's in the back of the house, right?
Side. And there's a house in front of this, so,
That told me the other thing.
well, true.
You see right
It's
around it.
behind a fence.
A crossbuck fence.
No, the railing is crossbuck. The fence is just regular balusters, because you can't have the cross.
There's not another place for that AC unit?
The issue is in the back, these lots are small, there's not enough room to set back for it to fit. The house is set 11 feet off the back property line, so if you put it back there, it ends up being a setback.
If you look at the front page, you'll see the house location, and it's directly behind a house, and there's a lot in front of that house.
Is there any way to, like, disguise that, like inkberry or something put in front of that? So, I mean, we usually don't do that.
There'll be vegetation in the front of the house, and it will be wrapped around up to the fence on the part facing the street. You certainly can make whatever vegetation will be something that's green year-round.
Yeah, because those are my thoughts. I think we should disguise it somehow. If that's where it has to be, we have to make some, some.
What kind of, you say bollards, can't that just be a fence, a wooden fence?
It is a wooden fence.
It is.
Yeah.
It'll be a wooden fence, approximately 4 feet tall. What we did on the last house was we kept it within a half inch of each other, each of the pickets, so that there's no visible space to it, but enough so that the AC unit can breathe.
All right, does anybody have any comments?
Only one.
What's that?
On the left north elevation compared to the one on the right, the rear east, you either make your railings crossbar, both of them, or make them both picket style.
We made them both cross brace.
Either way, we make
this
them one
one
thing or
too?
the other.
No, this has to be a.
That's what I said.
That has to be a fence on that side to be
Right.
closed because there's a set of stairs there.
Right, but I'm just saying, you only got,
From those two,
Style.
from those two elevations, both porches have the crossbar arrangement.
that's what I was saying.
You're right, so I'm
Why
saying
not to
that's.
make those two, only two of them, match these? When you can see both of them, it offsets your visual aspect. I'm just saying,
Yeah, we actually felt on the front of the house, the crossbuck made the house, just a little bit more open, what was on very small lots. And we'd gone around and looked at a bunch of the smaller lots that have been developed recently, and these were commonly done where you felt like you needed some type of railing. We don't need it for code, but they're a young couple, they're thinking they're gonna have a family, those types of things, so they just wanted something so no one ever walked off the edge of the, my granddaughter lives next door, she's 1, so there was just some thought about having something to keep it safe. By code, it's under 20 inches, so it didn't need anything.
Right.
There are some of these in the neighborhood. There's one at 2 Newtown Road as you come in off of Hooper Farm. There's one at 8 Hooper Farm Road, so they're not uncommon in the neighborhood. And then if you go up towards the end of Westchester, there's that little Pilgrim Lane subdivision. In there where there are small lots, they were all done with the exact same railing system, so that they certainly are out there in common.
Well, yeah, I'm not so worried about it because it's in the back, that the picket style is in the back of the house.
It's just a railing, yeah.
Yeah, but you need that for the stairs.
Like I said, as far as the air conditioner goes, we would, happy to do vegetation on the
Yeah,
front
that-
part that faces
that's-
the road.
Right.
That's my only concern on that.
Just, you got a statement?
I really don't, no, I don't have any issues.
Okay. Can I have a motion?
Yeah, I would say that a motion to approve, making sure that there's vegetation disguising the AC fencing around the AC, and I'm okay with the different fencings in the back, so that would be my only stipulation.
That's Abby's motion. All those for it, say aye.
I,
Aye.
Thank you. Guys, have a good holiday.
I'm gonna hold my next one for the end.
why, you want to work on it?
No,
this, Pete guy, you got
his son goes out with Dave's, is engaged to Dave's
Hey,
daughter.
what about the next one, Bill?
I'm holding my next one for the end.
I didn't tell Matt, I don't have Brooks' number.
that one, so we're holding Carol Beller.
Chip, text Chip, maybe.
What about 14 Field Ave with Brooke? Anybody got Brooke's,
What's the Willard Street?
I'll go then if nobody else is here.
And Matt knows, he
That's
said
me.
thanks, so I don't know what that means. I just told him you're up. And then I'll tell Chip.
My hearing isn't too good. I got trouble. I got hearing aids in my
This
pocket.
is me. Yeah.
Yeah. Kaiser's okay, yeah.
Is it really only 5:30? Wow.
Oh, we've got so many people
Eight
that are
Willard
here.
I know, well, I would
they're all
think
gonna
probably.
get here as we're trying to leave.
I wanna show up at the last minute. Oh, my God.
Okay, I'm coming.
All right.
Thank you. Oh, you
Here
signed
you go,
it.
Connie.
Good for you.
This is some revisions to, a previous approval. When you looked at this house before, Stephen Welch had made a suggestion about putting a hip roof on our front, sort of sunroom bay room area. And we agreed to that, but what I noticed when I was putting together the drawings to get the approval is it created some really weird lines. The way it tied into the dormer, the first floor roof line, and I have the previous approval in the corner for you.
Yeah, I see that.
So this is another attempt. My first attempt was to do a very low-lying roof that tied into the shed roof, and it was a 4-pitch, but John thought it should be a higher pitch. So now my suggestion to make this roof seem a little more streamlined is to just bring the gable up higher and keep it the same pitch as the rest of the roof and see what you guys thought about that. And in the rear, instead of a disjointed two little wings with nothing in the middle, we're carrying the shed roof over and tucking the AC units under that. So they're kind of tucked
that
away. Sorry?
Yeah.
I remember this.
Nope, keep going. Right here on the west. So we're carrying the roof over. This is an indent, and the AC units are in there. It's in the floodplain, so they have to be up on a little platform, but that way they're kind of tucked away and in back, out of the way. And I think the roof line's better.
You're up in here?
Yeah, yep.
Okay, you're towards Willard Street,
Right, so there's a lot behind this.
right?
Yeah.
But it's visible.
Well, it could be, but I thought it was a pretty good solution. We could also maybe put some lattice and,
Why didn't
you
you
know.
put a railing? And just put a railing where they are here, and then these stairs, where you don't see the air conditioning.
Put a railing?
So they're going in here,
I can put a railing.
they put a railing across here and a railing
Yeah.
across
It connects
there.
the posts.
I sure can.
I think it's a great idea,
Yeah.
John.
Absolutely. We can do that. You're right, and then it looks like a porch.
Yeah, just run it across. and
Yeah?
Keep your boards underneath.
So that's the west. But it wouldn't carry all the way across because that's two little platforms. It would be a railing, a space, and then another railing.
You couldn't just like make the whole deck extend across it?
Well, it would interrupt
There'll be
those
railings,
windows.
there'll be say shingles here,
Okay,
and then on the underneath too. That way, if you look at it, this is wide open here, between here and here.
right. I don't think it can be shingle because of the airflow thing, but we could
So,
do
pick it, yeah, yeah.
railing. Yeah,
But
open
on
railing.
both sides, that's what I'm saying.
Okay. That's fine.
That's
I'm
my
happy to
comment,
do
that's
that.
all.
Okay, anybody else have any comments?
I have a question for Val.
Mm-hmm.
On the second story, that dormer with the porch on the front of the house.
Yeah?
Is there any way that dormer could stretch over further and make these windows on either side of the French doors the same as the two here.
Let me see what you're saying.
See, right now it ends here.
Yeah?
I'm wondering if this could move over, or does this already exist? So
No, this is a house that's not built yet, so I can move it over a foot?
Yeah, so my question.
Even with the porch? I mean, the little railing?
With the porch, yeah, move the whole thing over. My point is that this gable coming forward is making the front door subordinate.
Okay.
And I think if you make the windows on either side of the French door the same, will give that more
Oh, they're
presence.
supposed to be the same, but I can take a foot and move it over, yes, and then
But she has to be
respace.
3 feet from the
Yep,
edge.
yep.
Right, I don't know, I don't have a ruler, but
I do.
I'm just saying, move this over to
Yeah.
here.
Yep.
And then make these windows the same size of these.
Oh,
So
okay.
right now, these seem subordinate to this gable coming forward, which is taking all the prominence up. So this is the front door. It would to make these windows bigger back here, it would have more of a presence.
I gotcha. If they're just spaced out a little more too, they'll look, okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. More trim in the middle of them.
Hashab had a thing which I didn't see.
Okay.
It says placement of AC units awkward. Check visibility and screening solution.
So it's also not in the old historic district of the HDC? It's just
Right, and I don't know
past
how
it?
you can make a better solution when it's.
I think if John's was great, put some railing across, it
Yeah.
looks like a porch.
Yeah. Should we make a motion here,
That
or
was
do
a
you
good
want to,
suggestion.
Do
you
you
want
want
revisions?
Do you want revisions?
See that?
Yeah?
It's a crank window.
No, that's a door, a batten door. It's mechanicals because they have to be up high in the floodplain. So you can only open it from the outside. It's just a wood door that opens like that.
That,
Yeah,
that wing door.
right here. One there and one here. They do this. And you're right, I should have that on there. There. I can do that in my
What is inside, what's behind it?
mechanicals, because they have to be up high in the flood area. There's no basement.
Here it is.
Do you want to make revisions, or you want me to try a thing?
Yeah, try a thing.
Okay, here we go. Motion to approve with the front easterly elevation on the second story to extend to the right. I guess.
Second floor,
Second-
dormer, right?
Second floor
Yeah.
dormer and balcony, that whole unit, that whole shed unit, extending what, it looks like 2 feet?
Mm-hmm.
2
Well,
feet
it can only go,
as far as you
Right.
can, yeah.
Mhm.
You can, so that would extend to what, 3 feet? 3 feet off the edge of the roof. And on the westerly rear, creating a porch to disguise the AC units running across the back.
perfect. That's a great idea. I didn't even think of it.
Did anybody else say anything else?
John, periodically you have a great idea.
Did anybody have any suggestions other than that? Add a chimney? No. No? No chimney?
Okay, all
Diane
those
and I
in
love a
favor
chimney.
of that,
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
there you go. All right, so that is done, thank you. The next one,
Brooke is here.
oh, good, good, good.
Oh, motion to return back to, what are?
No, we haven't,
Oh,
we
we haven't gotten there.
Nope, we're going to.
How did you know we were going so fast?
I happened
Field
to see the
Avenue.
video and I saw Val up here and I was like, oh,
I was just gonna
gosh
text
darn it,
you.
I better go quickly. But I didn't say gosh darn it.
Of
Right,
course
John?
you
What
did.
did I
You
say?
know what he
John?
likes? He likes being on the camera, and he zips home.
Yeah.
Are you on your bike?
No, I drove.
Slacker.
That's how.
You have a car?
When I can find it. It's funny, there are mornings where I can't remember where.
I love it. I think the bike is great. Do you have an electric one?
No, not
Not
yet.
yet.
I've been looking into it. I think there's a lot of options.
Yeah, there are. I have a great one. Soros, S-O-R-O-S.
The
Just take-
Sonos.
Sonos, yeah.
Yes, there's a crowdfunding bike, probably 5 years ago. And, yeah, it's a great little bike.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
All right, so what, this is for, the original application had a roof walk on it. In order to get an approval, there was some concerns about visibility, and we needed to expedite this. Ray suggested that I come back at a later time once we were all framed, which we are. Here are some photos. And you'll see from the pictures how much of how this structure resembles a two-story structure from the south elevation, and from the west elevation there are trees and vegetation that have to stay because of the MESA lines that are part of the site plan and property. So anyway, we'd like to reconsider this.
Reconsider, did we already see it
Can I
once?
take a look at the picture?
Here, wait,
Oh.
it's coming
Yeah.
around.
It was originally approved,
No, this is not a second story. Considered a second story?
it is.
It is.
Well,
We-
Well,
but-
it's, okay, so this right here, that's like a 6.5 foot plate height,
Mhm.
right? It's, it's right at that zone of,
So
second.
what is a plate height considered a second story? John, do you know that answer? John, do you know what is considered second story, the plate height? How tall does it have to be considered second story?
Do you want to see,
Plate height?
you've got
Yeah.
pictures.
Well,
Johnny's got pictures.
It's not the plate height, the rule we generally go by is that any roof walks going on the structure has to be a full two-story.
Right, but, so what is considered a two-story? What's the minimum plate height?
18 feet.
From
From the
where?
first floor
Oh, from the first floor.
to the gutter. It's usually generally 18 feet. Not all 2.5 feet.
That's another, 16 feet.
I don't have a ruler.
Here's the thing,
You've
though.
only got-
If you look at the prior approval, and then you look at the building with the roof walk on, I think one would be hard pressed to argue which one is more attractive. I honestly think.
I think you could win this argument, Brooke, by having us view it, because if we can't see it,
Yes.
Yeah, this is
Um,
yeah.
Well, I will say, you'll definitely be able to see the south face, but even in the street, even in Morgan Road, you can't back up far enough to see.
I think that would help some,
Is this the only place you can put this? I mean, I just, it looks funny right over the front door, like.
Well, that's the
you-
main mass.
Right, I know, but I wish it were down here somewhere, like doing that, you know? Instead of doing it this
Then you
way,
get down to a story. and a
switching,
half.
putting this here, is there a way to do that, or would it make a step in the?
No, the building is already framed, as you can tell. And
I mean, it looks like a two-story to me, but I don't know the
Oh,
criteria.
I get confused about it too.
According to our general rules and regulations and policies, which one is it?
I think we
This
should
one
be
here
looking
is
at
4
the south
feet up to
elevation.
here. 8 feet's gonna bring you up here. To get the second, you gotta have the gutter line's got to be across here somewhere to make it a full two-story all the way
So
around.
it's 8 feet from the.
It's 18 feet,
from
or
the-
any house you measure is gonna be 18 feet for 2.5 stories, basically.
I mean, from the
Just
south
going by what
elevation,
But the
it looks,
policy's high, you know?
and you even have that dome there that adds kind of a optical illusion of extra height.
Yeah. So, again, to me, it just looks like a two-story structure. as I
Oh, oh, can we hold it for review?
I would like to hold
Okay.
for review because
Okay.
perhaps we can make an exception
Yeah.
if it's not visible.
Yeah, so motion to hold for review, can we, vote on that?
Yep. All those in favor?
All right.
What's the motion?
To
Hold-
view.
Oh, to hold for review.
Hold for you. All right, I'm gonna do that. No problem.
What's that?
A lot of use.
All right,
Yeah.
the next one is 2 South Pasture.
Oh, this is for, Hazardous.
Yes.
Where's this one?
So the back corner, Linda's Street.
Oh. No good.
Out in, yeah, so it's,
All right, so the original approval had a massive set of stairs on the South Shore Road side, which we are removing those stairs.
Oh, nice.
So I think that's an improvement. In place of the door, there's now a window number 5. This is the east elevation. Okay, that's where the stairs, those stairs were there, and now it's this.
Excellent.
And then here, because of impact concerns, we had to change 2 of the 4-light doors to wood, to solid wood doors. And those would be Unit A and Unit B on the north and the west elevation. And then on the south elevation, it was a French door on the lower level. Now it's just a single 8-light door. And then we removed a couple of.
Is it a store?
Store.
It's
It's
a
a
nurse.
school.
It's a nurse.
Oh.
This is the it's known as school.
Exploration station.
Oh.
Actually, over on, this,
Like, it looks like a store.
it's, you know,
Yeah.
it's a business.
It's tucked in, it's tucked in the back. And
I love that stairway's gone.
on the second floor, dormer on the south elevation, there were 2 windows that were removed, and that is a cost consideration because we have to have impact glass on this building because it's a commercial structure. So we're trying to save a little bit of money.
That's a shame.
I thought that code didn't change?
It's not. It's
Within a certain proximity to the water.
yeah, it's within 1 mile, and we are I think something like 300 feet inside of that. And literally, like, it depends on who you talk to, but like the north part of the lot.
So if you were to just change those windows out, you wouldn't be able to do that because of the,
No, what it is that, these are like $1,300 or $1,400 a piece, and so they're getting rid of a couple of things.
what's up there first?
What's up there now?
No, what's
An
going to be up
apartment?
there where you?
Play area.
It's a storage area that's going to be ancillary to the education area.
It just seemed that would be kind of lacking across air with cutting down all 3 windows.
Well, we have windows on the other side. It's a big open area. There's windows at each end. I think there'll be plenty of cross ventilation. And there will probably never be kids up there because I think the age is 9 and under have to be on the first floor. That's the code.
That's the south elevation anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't, you'll see it if you're coming back from the sewer, the wastewater treatment facility, sort of, but you're never gonna see it otherwise.
I think that, it's a school and, you're,
It's cute.
yeah, you're doing the best you can, and we should be
I agree.
aware of that. No, I'm serious. It's for the benefit of the kids.
It's still. Johnny, you got a comment?
Is there a reason why you moved that, same reason why in the east elevation you moved that window?
What is going on?
This one?
Just,
What happened over there? I couldn't see it.
Okay, so this was originally approved, okay, the stair and the door.
Is this existing?
No, okay, so originally
What
this,
are you gonna do? You're gonna remove it?
no, so this was a previous approval, okay? Originally, like right now, this building is 4 walls and no roof. It used to be like just a storage building, and we came in and we got approval for these elevations. That one,
What was approved?
yeah, that was a previous
Where is
668.
this? That's here.
Yeah, and so we're changing this door, and we're removing those stairs.
All right, take it easy.
We're removing this stair and this door, and we're adding a window. And then here, this door is going to that door, and this window is going to that window.
Front door.
Yep, and then this,
Yeah.
6 panel.
well, we got a board door. It has to be an impact door.
Must have already gotten approved.
Large missile test, this is a commercial structure. We can't do a 6-panel door because it's not,
Receive.
That door. That's
oh,
all.
it's a solid door, yeah. Yep. And then on this side, right here, we got approved for 5 windows, and now we're going down to 3. And obviously the stair goes away. There's a French door there and a single slab there. All right,
Thank you.
all right. And this is South Shore Road.
Anybody else have anything they'd like to say? If not, can I have a motion to approve as submitted?
Approve as submitted.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You did the landscaping, the driveway before?
Yes,
Yeah, I
yes,
think
and
I missed
I
that.
suspect we'll be back at some point for that. I don't know what configuration, but that is what is currently approved.
The next one is Finback.
Yes,
Okay. 2 South Pasture Lane.
There you go, Johnny.
so this is the dreaded word, as-built. But it's the front door, it's the only thing. It was approved as a 2-light, 4-panel door, I don't know how, but it was. And the builder decided to put in a 6-light door with 2 panels, and so there you have it. In painted blue.
I like it.
Is there a picture of it?
Look at it, what it was approved as.
Yeah.
Up in the corner.
It was a design. It was serious design by committee that night for whatever reason, and so that's what we came out with. I can't say I liked it.
Do you like this?
I like the 6-panel much better.
So, but like the blue, is it like
It's
smart blue? or-
yeah. There's some. I think John, didn't you have a photo in there?
Isn't it Hamilton blue?
I think it's actually Newport blue on it. I think that's what it's painted.
Yeah.
Which is a slightly, it's not as dreary as Hamilton blue, but it's an approvable color.
Okay, approval color.
It was
Not smart.
non-conforming door inspection.
Yeah, John, I snuck it right by you.
Did I hear an approval?
Yeah, I think, motion to
done.
approve.
Oh.
Oh, John, sorry.
Did you say motion to approve?
He's folding.
Did you say motion to approve?
No,
Oh, he did?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? There you go, everybody
favor, yeah.
got that through. Okay, now is 7 Ellen's Way.
Oh, I should have worn my turkey hat today.
I know.
That one, no.
Damn it. I will. I have one that looks like a cooked turkey and one that's like a kind of like the house with the roof.
They all look the same. They're
They
on
all
the
look
same
the
street.
same.
My question is, yeah.
All right, so this building is 4 lots further in from the building that was approved 2 Tuesdays ago. I think our height is what, 25 on this, or 20?
26.
26. The north elevation and the west elevation, well, the north elevation will be blocked by a studio, and also the L coming off the main mass, and the west elevation faces the large common area.
I like your locus.
My comment
17
pond.
Ellen's.
Thank you.
Who
You
was
mean it's a
Ellen?
little Star Wars.
Ellen Mulkey?
No, isn't it Viera?
This is the Viera, this is Myacomic Preserve.
Oh,
I don't know, it might be,
that's a, yeah, but
I
I don't know
doubt-
Ellen.
I doubt that there is any connection to the Risco family
Okay.
here.
Is, how many
There's a
houses?
few LLCs, a couple of layers.
There's 19 houses going in here. Most of them are halfway, at least halfway done.
I think there's been 5 homes built, 4 sold, and the one that got approved last week was a client, an actual human, and this is,
Oh, gosh.
I know what
Yeah,
Ellen
I
was
mean-
like, easier for me.
it's pretty standard, pretty standard operating procedure here.
West faces the pond.
It faces the back of the other properties. I mean, you'll never see it from Myacomet Road, that's for sure.
No, because first of all, the elevation between my
Yes.
Road and this was my route.
It goes uphill.
Is every single one of these gonna have a pool?
Yeah, that's coming up. They all got those.
There
Are your
pools.
number ones awning or are they fixed?
Which are my number ones?
They're in the little peak
Over the French
over
doors?
the,
Oh, over the doors, those are fixed, I think.
and then there's one on the rear somewhere.
Yeah, there's, I think, well, those are in the cathedral ceiling area, so, these are 6/1s, they are behind,
Oh, no,
Just
they're
the
all
number
on that
ones.
first floor wing.
yeah, the number ones are transom style fixed units.
So if you write fixed on there, I know who will be happy.
Johnny, you got questions? Any questions?
Yeah, what one of those?
Okay, so these right here, this is the number one, this is a transom. I think I inadvertently just put awning, but that's just the model. They're never gonna open it anyway, because this is a cathedral ceiling.
And 601 is 50.
No, it's a 6 slate.
Yeah.
It's just a transom.
What's with the clapper,
And these are 6/1s, so behind
track, vertical clapper?
where
This,
it's just boards. It'll be natural to weather. You know, you get tired of shingles after a while,
I know, but
and you're never gonna see it.
Tell them what you say, John.
There are 16 lots in the subdivision. Everyone has a pool. I couldn't believe it. They must be pumping it in from the farm. You can't take it from the room for
They're
them.
tiny little poles, they're not big ones. Little
I have one of those little plastic ones that you drag
Yeah.
out of the cellar in the summer and throw in the yard.
I mean,
Do you have like
Safe.
a little,
Jesse, you got
For the
anything?
dogs.
I mean, I honestly, I would trust your everyone's opinions on here. Nothing jumps out at me.
No,
And the only thing I would say, Brooke, is maybe in the future, if you're gonna be doing any more of these, are you gonna be,
we'll see.
it'd be great to know if the layout of the street,
like you did with Finback.
Finback,
All
because,
right, yeah, so here's the thing. The 5 previous structures were done by someone else.
Okay.
I'm just getting into this whole process. As this evolves, I will be able to provide a streetscape for you.
that's, that'd be great, because I mean, a lot of these, you don't want everything to match too perfectly, right? You want to have a little variation.
Oh, these are definitely different than
Yeah.
what is there.
Because what's your color scheme?
Gray, Nantucket gray,
Nantucket gray and
forest green set.
yeah.
Nice.
And
Green doors.
And then the one that I got approved last time was like Quaker gray and green, and all the rest of the buildings are cobblestone and black
Yeah,
thing that we just see a lot of these days, and so we're trying to.
we're looking for Smurf blue.
We can do it.
Okay, so this is the new dwelling.
And the architecture is definitely,
Yeah, a little diversity and,
I'm definitely trying to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, no, I mean, even the
Motion to
footprints,
approve?
of where the house sits.
They- I have a motion to approve. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
John,
Now, everybody, most people this time of year, they see a happy Thanksgiving, have a nice turkey day.
yes.
I don't eat turkey, so I'm gonna have peanut butter,
Happy
pickle
peanut butter.
sandwich.
Well, what are we
Well,
gonna do
happy
about
peanut butter and
this?
pickle sandwich day.
They're good for you.
He
Peanut
likes
butter
his
and
peanut butter and
pickle?
pickle.
Yeah. Sweet,
Can't you
sweet
stick a
sour
feather in there? Can't you stick a feather in there?
You haven't lived on eat pickle sandwich.
Colleen's here, he's gonna be
Yeah.
having.
I had a pickle yesterday.
Can't you have a toe
What'd you do with it?
Eat it.
How many people do this?
You like it?
Funny.
Yes. What perked me up? Pickles.
fried pickles are serving salad. They're delicious pickles.
Did you have any when you were down? I would motion to approve this, but I'll give John the benefit of saying something.
This is new
This
studio
is
garage?
the,
Maybe
this
like
is
this. This is a nice.
studio garage. So you got something to tell us?
Oh, look, see, it's perfect.
Yeah, and I even did, you can show that to Jesse, because he was looking for a.
Comparison, thank you. Yeah. So,
John,
John's drawing is upside down. I think I should bring the new one back in.
no, that's not one.
Johnny, there is the house and the garage.
And it definitely sits behind this building.
What?
This definitely sits, in working street. As far away as it can be,
Can I ask you a question?
by all means.
If there are 19 lots to be built, if there are 19 pools, how are they going to be hidden so that 19 pools, and these lots
not
aren't
very big.
very big?
Is it gonna be like Hedgeburg?
Yeah,
All right, so in this instance, the pool is hidden by the cedar board fence partially. It's hidden by the garage studio. It's hidden by the house. And there's the,
And it's in the back of the lot, but
And
the
it's in the-
back of the lot goes down towards the pond.
but it's a huge, I mean, you've got
Big space.
300-foot lots that are in front of another 200 feet to get to
Yeah.
the back of those lots. You're never gonna see these from Maya Comet Road
I mean,
unless
yeah,
You have
it's a one of those things where it's like if one person has one, why can't the other one have one? And then what's better, a big community pool, which obviously this it's not built that way, but
Yeah.
and that I think has a certain lack of taste, anyways.
Well,
What?
I don't know, I think Finback works pretty well, people like that.
Yeah.
Is
Well,
that a
and you
community
did
pool?
that, but you had control over the whole.
I
like
had
it.
I have,
as much
you know,
control
honestly,
as I could pretend to
I
have,
haven't
yes.
seen it, so I can't really judge
It's a
it
nice,
anyways.
it's a nice situation.
Yeah.
The pool is way back and it's
You can't see it from
it's
anywhere.
very nice. It just seems to be that at some time we ought to
Except
be
for
able
Johnny.
to say enough pools in
Yeah.
a
Well, let's not make
location.
it this application.
No, it's not it. Somebody
But,
has to do that
But
through
isn't that,
zoning.
yeah, isn't that zoning, or, that's not us?
But
Yeah,
we're
well-
talking about the garage here, so.
I mean,
Right.
honestly, it's the zoning needs to be working on, and this is not even our conversation,
Right.
but is these large developments, that's what they need to be working on.
Well,
They
these are
think
all,
they're all
these are all
wonderful.
cluster
You've been to a
subdivisions.
planning board
Now,
meeting?
so hang on a second. So these are all cluster subdivisions, you know, and Ellen's Way is a cluster subdivision, and what you get is, whatever it is, 10,000 square feet in a 1 acre zoning, and then you've got tons of open space.
Yeah.
And I think that most people would agree that that is preferable to
Except that
subdividing.
it confuses the hell out of the zoning people.
Well, that's all right. I think Marcus is intelligent.
No, we just went through it on Ahab for somebody.
Anyway,
like,
so my point is
5
that
different,
these lots are
opinions.
big enough to accommodate a pool, and, you know, maybe the neighbor
I
on
don't,
the
honestly,
second floor is gonna see
it's
it.
not,
but-
I mean, if you can't see, it's not in our purview, and the people are gonna be, the worst off if their neighbors getting, you know, yelling back at each other in the backyard. I mean, that's not really our issue.
No, it's not our issue.
Yeah.
It just is an issue that
Yeah, it's zoning.
you look at the thing and every house that's being built has got a pool in it.
What can we do as HPC people?
I don't know.
make sure they're not seen.
That's it.
Ask with real estate agents not to push.
Well, who's pursuing the real estate agent? It's the buyer.
Okay, motion to approve this little cute garage studio unless John has something.
Sorry, I already folded up, my bad.
Without the pool.
I'm measuring something. I need
Sorry.
more time. Thank you. Right here. Oh, boy. These meeting rails are off, all of them. All 6 of them. The meeting rail's gotta drop down about 6 inches to meet the gutter line.
Can you do that for John?
No. Because these are deep eaves, so the fascia is low. So the meeting rail is actually aligned with where the fascia would be if this was a flush frame structure, which it's not.
Put it in a minute, it's gonna drop in 6 inches, that's simple.
Do what?
He wants to drop, so the meeting rails,
And
Why
I'm
not?
saying that these are overhanging eaves, and that the meeting rail would align with a flush framed building.
And we go through this a lot.
We go through this all the time, and I would like,
We'll change the law for you.
it's not a law.
all right, let's
I
move it
got down
along.
overhanging eaves, cause the meeting rails to not
I say
connect.
motion to approve as submitted.
Okay.
Oh,
All
aye.
Aye.
I agree, I'll vote yes, but I disagree with the motion because it's contrary to
To what?
commission's policy.
But,
We
well,
need to do a basic architectural
You keep doing what you
detail
want, you
class.
don't go the regulations.
John,
I keep
we've had
telling you.
this discussion before, and with these long overhangs, that rule doesn't work. If he cuts those overhangs, they'll be right where they're supposed to be. But it's not typical of the style.
And he wants to keep the building low, which is important, as important, I think, to have the meeting rails.
I'm not
meet.
trying to be contrary.
I hope you have a nice Thanksgiving.
She's gonna have a peanut butter and pickle day.
Yay, good stuff, you know.
I'll be working.
On our overhang.
And here's the pool,
Well, at least it's, well, how big is it?
18 by 28.
There you go, Johnny.
Oh, sorry.
I guess it's kind of faded, isn't it? I'll try and use a heavier line.
Yeah, could you make those a little bigger?
Yeah. That's painted on the bottom of the pool.
Oh, God. Oh, what are we gonna do? How many pools are we gonna have?
I
You
mean,
can't see it.
I have opinions on this, but I.
Go for it, Jesse,
Well,
don't
it
hold
just-
back.
I just don't feel like it's in our purview, and, I mean, if it's not being seen. I just, the sandy, plastic color is not very natural. It allows for less reflection, which then, can mean you can look into it more versus the nature reflecting off it, but.
What would you suggest?
But it's not our purview.
Yes, it is. Say,
I mean-
say what you think.
I would do a darker color,
What do you use?
like a French gray or a dark gray or a dark blue.
Okay, so what is the Pebble Tech color that you use?
I would.
Because this sandy beach is something that has been used on a bunch of pools, and I think once the water is over, it becomes a dark.
It's greener. I have it in my own pool. I know it very well.
Okay.
I like it. I'm just saying, but I'm just saying, from a reflection standpoint, the darker it is, you're gonna have more reflection. So it's, but I mean, this is a taste thing. I mean, it's up to the,
Well, then let's go with lack of visibility.
I'm sorry, I should have just got my mouth shut.
No, it's, look, you have an expertise that we need to hear.
I'd just be curious about like the name of the other color, and I don't care if it's sandy.
Midnight blue.
Midnight blue, fine. So we'll call it motion to approve with midnight blue.
Hey, you can't make a motion.
I'm suggesting this motion.
John
We'll have a
can.
motion.
Reminds me of a song.
Just midnight blue, look,
Brooke made one.
Oh, good one.
It's a dark
Yeah.
is it like my?
Cancel that.
blue, a little lighter. It's a grayish blue.
Jesse,
Yeah.
you're the professional man on this kind of work. This Pebble Finish, Sandy Beach, that's gonna go around the swimming pool?
It's going to be inside the pool, and it's going to be filled with water.
Inside the pool?
Yeah, it's the plaster surface.
You know, instead of turquoise.
Not slate or something.
What's that?
No,
Not
he wants
slate.
to know
What
what the
is it?
coping is.
Oh, the coping's usually just like a bluestone,
Yeah.
12-inch coping.
Yes.
That's what it looks
Yep.
like there. No patio. Very minimal in that sense.
What's your opinion? Take it.
Yeah.
Do you know
I mean,
that
there might
house,
be a landscape plan that comes behind this that changes that.
Yep.
do you
Right
know the
now we're
house
just-
on Monomoy where it makes the big right-hand turn and the antique house right ahead of you,
Yeah.
Miss Margaret? They have a pool.
Yeah.
It's right on the brim going down the bank. And we put a color in there which has been, so it's very difficult to see, and I don't remember, it was so long ago, I don't remember what the color
Yeah,
was.
a dark gray and blue. I mean, in general, it doesn't have to be pebble either.
No,
It
it
could be
was,
just-
I think it was a dark gray,
Yeah.
something, worked out very well.
Interesting. Well, I'll make a move to approve with midnight.
With that blue, okay? All those in favor?
Midnight at the Oasis.
Reminds me of a song from the 80s.
Yes, the interior of the pool.
Yeah, right.
Thank you, Brooke.
All right.
Have a nice
Oh, is
Thanksgiving.
this it?
No, what about
I hope you
Oh,
all
I
have
think
a
it's,
Are you finished?
No.
Hold on.
studio garage? Where's that?
We just did that.
You know what I'll do is I'll
All
bring
right.
one of those.
You're done.
flyers.
I'm
Happy
done.
turkey.
All right. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
You're done.
Pleasure doing business with you,
Drive
John.
careful, Brooke. Remember where your car is this time.
Yes. Yes.
The house, you live in, you're still in,
Yeah.
Okay, our next one is
No, my wife.
Oh, that is?
No.
Carrie
But it was
Listner?
Mindy's.
Emeritus pull, did Emeritus pull all these?
Mindy Rice.
Yeah, he's gonna hold out.
And you probably knew her mom.
27 has some seat
I
that's.
can't remember the blank of
that's one we're on now.
her grandmother's name. 'Cause
We don't know who it is, so we'll
No,
hold.
no,
Can I
not
get a
mine.
motion to hold?
Motion to hold, 5 Coon Street, number 27.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Also, motion to hold 28 through 31, Emeritus, 46 Shimo Pond Road. Motion to hold for,
Okay, so we're now down to Herbst, 29
John, we
North
just
Pasture.
made a motion to skip. Emeritus is not coming.
Skip what, 27?
40, yeah, 27, 28, 29, 30, and 31.
Bye, Brett.
Bye-bye.
Why did you skip them?
Because they're not, because they're
Here.
pulling their applications, they're not going to show. They're already making turkey sandwiches.
What about,
Are you cooking at the
I just like to spoon it out.
what,
What about-
29 North Pasture? That
Nope.
guy not here, so
We have to hold that as well?
32, 33. Next Tuesday's gonna be a killer.
Jeez Louise. Okay, a motion to hold 32, 33,
Okay.
and 34.
No, 34's here.
Oh,
Ethan's here.
well, speed it up.
All the hammy on my way.
I didn't realize that you did your own thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's out on his own.
Congratulations.
thank you. It's a big jump.
Girfon?
Griffin.
Griffin.
Just
Oh,
an alternate spelling.
oh, sorry.
Right.
Gryphon.
There you go, Julie.
All righty,
All right,
here it
Gryphon.
is. Hashab says, reference for reclaimed, bring sample to meeting. Does that make any sense to you?
Yeah, I wasn't able to procure a sample immediately, but I can, if it's something that you want in the file, I'd be happy to bring a sample of the brick to put in the file or some sort of
Oh,
reference.
because they didn't say what,
Yeah, it's for the chimney mass.
And this is from 1834 contributing.
Correct. The structure was heavily renovated in the 2000s, so none of the chimney structure or really any of the framing really remains from the house. It's an entirely contemporary chimney, both of them actually.
Is this the first time we've seen this?
No, we're up
Yeah, I thought
for
Because I remember these windows being
right. So we
horizontal.
clarified that.
That's the change.
So yeah, so it's this application addresses the chimney. On the top is the previous approval, which is here maybe like 2 months ago, and then on it's the east elevation. We're proposing to remove a side door and a little roof that went over it. But probably of most of your interest will be the chimney. So we're proposing to remove that entire mass, and then basically recreate it as it exits the building in a more historically appropriate veneer. So it will be a false chimney, but it'll actually look more appropriate than
Well, that's nice of you.
it currently.
Is there HSAP comments, did you say?
yeah, it just said that reference for reclaimed bricks. It says bring sample to meeting.
Right. They were curious, were we going to get reclaimed brick and then slice it in half and clad it, or were we going to get brick that's manufactured new to look old? And I quite frankly said we weren't sure, but we'd be happy to submit something for the file for staff.
So that tells me they have nothing in common with the rest.
Yeah, I know, they've probably already gone through this, so I'm fine with it, if anybody's interested.
Not here. You chimney ladies must be psyched.
We are
Yes.
so excited, aren't we, Diane?
Yes.
nicely done.
John, have you got any questions?
So that was previously approved on the top job.
Relocated existing window.
Correct, yeah. So last time we were here about 2 months ago, we flip-flopped those windows. Those are existing windows, but we're moving, yep.
Right.
And now we're getting to that door on the bottom.
Yep.
You can see there was a little door there.
Oh, you close that up?
Motion to approve.
As submitted
All those,
with a sample provided of the,
Provide the sample for the brick
For staff?
yeah.
through staff, please.
Do you agree with the motion?
I do.
We're all in favor?
Aye. Thank you.
All right, thanks, guys. Have a great
Oh,
Thanksgiving.
thank you. Congratulations. I
Thank
hope
you.
you do well.
Thank you.
now the
Karen is
next
here.
one is, what?
Karen is here, and then we go back to Chip, so he has somebody here.
One question, what happened to 32 and 33?
Well, the gal just came, so we're gonna go back to her.
Oh, do you want me to leave?
No, we'll
No,
do
no.
you, because you've been sitting here. You put your time in.
Okay.
All right.
I went out there, and my only objection is, I mean, I guess it's a serious one, is that it's like right on the front of the house, and we usually don't do that.
Well, you see, this is the view from the road,
Yeah,
and I'm gonna put, some pretty tall, probably Leland cypress or arborvitae here, and then right here. So it shouldn't have any view from the road. Did you,
is there going to be a landscape plan then? 'Cause I don't know how other people feel about this, John, but that it's right on the front of the house.
you know it's on the dirt section?
Yes.
Which is kind of a dead end.
Right.
The other thing I'll say about it is, a couple of things. It's at the back of the lot, and it's all on one roof plane, which is the shallowest roof plane, the dormer.
Yeah.
She's not putting it here, there, and everywhere, so
Yeah, I saw
think
that.
it's really gonna be a minimal visibility in that way.
Well, I
Karen,
mean,
about
I'd
how
be,
far out were
I
you
agree
gonna-
with you, though, it's always a concern on the
how
front.
far out were you thinking of putting trees? Out here at the,
Out there, yeah, this view is from the road.
yeah,
And so the trees would be right in front of you, right here. And they would actually block like this, so the driver would come in.
yeah, we might have to see a landscape plan to see that, though. I mean, just to make sure, because otherwise, if we okay something on the front of the house, we're going to have,
we're gonna be eating it for.
yeah. I mean,
Because this
we're,
tree is
we're,
gonna lose all its leaves.
So,
yeah, what?
I would be willing to perhaps, well, do you wanna, did you get to view it?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to maybe approve it through staff with a landscape plan provided of showing where the screening is, or do you guys wanna see that?
I'd like to see where
Okay.
it's going to go, how that's going to obscure, and then we can say, due to lack of,
I
or
think it's
minimal
important,
yeah,
our first sort of one with the very front of the,
right.
House.
I don't want to be that. And John, what do you have to say?
Looking at the picture, if you move 10 feet to the left and took the picture, you can see the whole roof.
I don't think that's actually true. We tried to take the picture. So
You got the branch in the right spot.
No,
I-
actually, when you move, we tried to take the picture with the biggest view onto the house.
No, I took the same picture.
Yeah, it
I
really
did.
is hard, because if you move to the left, you get it from the other side. And it is a very shallow dormer.
I think it's gonna be, on this picture, I don't think you'd see them at all. The only, maybe funnily enough, the only place you would see them is all the way out on Somerset Road looking in, where you get a better view of that dormer pitch.
Yeah.
So maybe,
Yeah, what I'd like to do is combine it, have it attached or have it in combination with the landscape. So I would like to see this, first the landscape, how it's going to obscure it, and then I'm going to be fine with it.
right, so we can hold for revisions, and she could bring them back.
Next
Hold it for
Tuesday?
the landscape. Hold it for the landscape.
Yes, okay.
What do you think?
Comment, generally, we like a copy of the company's brochure to go with the application, because we have a lot of trouble with these 3-foot by 5-foot panels. They've got silver around the outside of them.
Oh, these are all black. Yeah,
I know,
everything we
know is black.
No, you can say that,
Yeah.
but we need documentation too, Karen. you
Oh,
know?
sure,
So,
yeah.
But you can drop it off tomorrow if you get it, you know?
Yeah, I do.
Is there any way you could make that a panel as well, where you have your spew pipe? There's the one that,
Oh, yeah, I don't.
that's too bad, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't see, that would be
Because
too.
that would give it uniformity.
I don't even think you're gonna see that stuff.
It's possible. All right, well, I'll make a suggestion.
But why are the shingles exposed here?
Because we have that, pipe coming up, see the pipe,
Pipe
that would be
coming from
really
the
fast
bathroom.
if we
I see,
route
okay, I
that.
see it in the middle, yeah.
Yeah,
I'd like to make a suggestion that we hold this for a landscape plan to see how you're going to disguise.
We don't have to be too
panels.
fancy on that plan. You could just, grab a site plan and put some,
from
yeah.
an aerial view.
Yeah,
of
an
the
aerial
site
view
plan.
and just kind of draw something in.
Okay,
I don't think it has to be, just locate the driveway and then, just, place out how many trees you think you want and, we don't need to have her hire a landscape designer to.
No, but if she just marks it on a site plan where
Yeah.
they're gonna
Yeah,
be
we
and
can
what
do
they're
that.
gonna be,
Mark it on a
then.
site.
yep.
Basically.
Do you want me to come back here to have that reviewed then?
Yes,
Yeah.
I would like it.
You could bring it to the meeting, you don't have to necessarily submit it by tomorrow.
Okay.
So
Read
just
the
get
meeting
And I'll
notes.
bring the
Drop it off to the
panel.
office, yeah, the documentation,
Yeah,
put it in the office.
okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Go get
Yeah.
'em.
Motion to hold for
For landscape
the
plan.
landscape plan and a brochure.
All those in favor?
All
I,
right. Yes,
Any opposed?
and a
No.
brochure.
Where's Chip? Is he around?
He is off island at the moment. He's
he's
in
never on
Nashville.
island.
Oh, yeah.
He's chasing the solstice, whatever it was.
Solstice?
The yeah.
Yeah,
Is-
not this trip.
You know, whatever that was.
Winter solstice?
Yeah, that's all I
Eclipse.
He's still
Well,
chasing?
it keeps going on somewhere else now.
Can you have your name for the record?
Amy Ledoux.
Amy?
Yep.
W-L-E-D?
Ledous.
All right. So would you like to tell us what we're going to be looking at?
Sure. So the first one is a new addition. It's going to be a 2-story addition with a garage at the basement level. So drive around to the west side for that. It's replacing an already existing single-story portion of the building, and the new part comes out about 38 feet. And it goes back about 43 feet.
This is just hardscaping?
No, it's an addition.
So there's
Oh, I
two
see.
different ones. Yeah.
Okay, so this is the addition.
Yep. So existing elevations are the top ones, and then below it are windows, and the addition portion is doubled.
I have one comment. The proposed addition, the higher part of the mass is at, the eave line is higher than the main mass eave line, and that seems a little out of,
It's a foot lower.
proportion to me. No, if you look at the main house and you hold a thing across here, it's about 1.5 foot higher. The eve line?
Yeah.
Eve-line. Oh.
Not the overall
Oh,
height.
yeah.
The overall height is good. It's the eve
Yeah,
line.
I see what you're saying.
Oh,
If that could just come down even with this, even,
Okay, yeah. I think-
with you could do a steeper pitch or something.
wouldn't be so
It's got a
overwhelming.
12, 9, 12. What is it? You
Well,
got
this
it?
is a really wide gable here. It's
Yeah.
9, and I know she's trying to match that, but if she does a steeper pitch, we won't notice that from this view,
Right.
and she can still get the space she needs up there, but it won't, it just seems a little bit off to me with that.
Right, and it's the front.
Right.
Is anybody ready to begin?
I can begin. I have
Okay.
no objections to the proposed, the proposed addition.
No, with the exception of that, it's good.
Oh, with the exception of that.
It's, well done.
Yeah, very nice.
Jess, have you got something?
There's a landscape plan coming in after this, or is this?
Yeah.
Yeah, it says, landscape after this.
Or hardscape or what?
Yeah, that was a separate application.
John, look at the dormers on the existing house.
What, north side?
Yeah. Look at how far those mid-rails line up with the eave. It's already there, I'm just pointing it out.
I'll make a cross.
Gwen Thorson, I
I'll make a cross
think.
point to you.
Yeah,
There's
actually,
enough
it is.
gutter lines to go straight
It's a
through.
much better
Enough
improvement,
gutter
that's for
lines to
sure.
go straight through and raise the window up. No? From the home. Gutter to here, gutter to here.
Yep.
And look at this one, and
Yeah,
even,
good point.
Yeah. Ow.
I have no concerns. It's a much better improvement.
All right, anybody got anything they'd like to add, or can we have a?
Yeah. We need a better plot plan. Here,
Okay.
all right, because this doesn't correlate like they have. We get
So
them.
we're gonna drop this.
This one on the outside.
Wait.
To me.
Oh, yeah.
This just shows the house. We don't know where the streets are, or where the
Yeah,
living.
I think it's missing a sheet. Yeah, that packet has one. Maybe I got rid of.
Oh, are you missing something?
Yeah,
it's
it's
just
not
missing that, yeah.
This one?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Or did you get one? Yeah, you got one.
oh, here's the diagram.
I think it's a really kind of neat addition. Love the breezeway too.
You're a breezeway fan.
I know, I just love it. I think it's
It's
a great.
already there too. And that
I
whole
know.
neighborhood's a bunch of.
Which side of the road?
I like them open.
There's one more comment.
Right, and the moors are here, so it's looking
Yes.
out. The back end,
Where-
it looks
where
out
is-
on the moors.
Yeah. On the first floor plan.
So this
That's
is
a
the
block.
basement level plan. So that's on the back
Elevation
side.
things, but
Right.
this side of
From
the
the
street is higher.
Just go to point.
It goes
Yeah.
down towards Pocus
Well,
Road.
looking down there, where is it? Would it be here? No, it could be.
She's like in the middle.
Yeah, it's this side right here.
Yeah.
This one here
Yes.
is that.
I see it.
I'm trying to find, that shows the door.
Oh, here's the door.
Yeah, see this here?
Yes.
Nathan? Who's left?
No, her daughter.
Oh.
You go upstairs.
I don't think there's many people left, right? I don't think Nathan's
I
coming.
think both. Yeah, because there's a garage below.
Cornwall.
Yeah, so it goes down to the garage like this.
Okay, now, what I'm saying is there's not enough room between these two for the door. You've only got almost 2 feet here, that's all.
Yep.
So you have to work out,
And this is all the way up through.
yeah. Yeah, so you have to take it back and either move this over or, you can't move it,
Well,
move
there
it
are
and
some
this way.
faint lines.
So
You can see that,
don't put it
that's
over.
the planks
So it is over there?
are falling down.
Right, so you're right.
Something like that.
And they
Okay, just
have
go upstairs and go downstairs,
Right.
okay?
a wall.
Right, because it falls off quite rapidly right there.
2 feet wide, you didn't need a shingle, but anyway.
That's true. They're not going to be happy about that.
Leave it, yeah, thank you.
It is tight.
All set, thank you.
I would make a motion to approve with the north elevation addition gable, dropping the eave line so it's even with the existing house and you can make the pitch what you need to, keep your program up there
Okay.
through staff.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 So Thornwell, are we holding those Thornwells?
Yeah, I
Yes.
still got one more for Chip.
Oh.
Thank you, yeah.
And then we have a couple cells and then Cornwall and
I got it, thank you.
Emeritus are not showing up. One cell, Tobias.
You want me to write what I said?
Yes,
Okay.
I got it written down here in case you. I'll try
Where's
and get home.
Tobias?
Last one.
Oh. 8 Street.
See if this makes sense to you. North eave of addition up even with main existing master pitch to accommodate building.
Right.
Oh, here you go, Diane. There's your topo.
There it is.
Nice.
And that's how it is. You stand up here and look out, you look out over the moors and all the little roads going down to the cranberry bogs and everything.
Yeah, it's crazy elevation now.
Hey, no swimming pool.
Yeah.
What, oh,
It goes
I don't see
88
one.
to 10. And 64, 88 to 64.
Thank you for doing this. This is very helpful.
This is great.
I would like to get Justin's opinion being a landscaping expert. I don't know what he thinks of it. Basically, my question was on the wall situation.
Yeah, I mean, so a lot of times you might want to try to step it instead of the walls to certain heights instead of putting it on a pitch. But because that's a curve, it makes it a little bit difficult. So I don't really have a problem with that. And then the other pitch going up here on this this wall that's going up. I guess let's see where
It's probably this going up to the main.
Right, that one could be stepped, but and we're matching existing stone so that we really don't have to discuss there. And then there's a lot of face by the garage there, but there's really not a whole lot you can do about that. Oh, pictures, that helps.
A lot of the houses on that side
Oh
of
my
North-
gosh, this elevation is so high.
Yeah, it's,
So, I mean, I think given what you have for your parameters, there is not much more that you can do, I mean, with the large face of stone there. And, yeah, I'm okay with it. And the back wall, new, existing, but that's new. So they're gonna try, yeah.
Abby, do you have,
No, I love it.
Johnny, here you go, there's the first one. Do you have something you can?
No, I think it's fine. I don't think we're gonna see any of this wall. You can barely see what they have there now.
Who's doing your landscaping?
Oh, this is Woodmeister.
Yeah, Woodmeister did the design.
I just might mention that deer love arborvitae.
Oh, do they put arborvitae in here?
Yes,
Yeah, well,
you have
I don't,
sticks.
Oh, it is
rather
gonna
than-
have a pool.
Where?
It says pool enclosure.
I didn't see that.
Where is the pool? On the back page, pool fence.
where's the fence on the plan though?
What pool?
Well, we don't have a pool in the plan yet.
So you're trying to get a fence approved? I didn't see this. Oh, here.
Yeah, there's a fence on here.
Where is it? On here, maybe on the color one? Wire mesh.
What are they screening? Why they got an arborvitae
Because
screen?
there's gonna be a pool someplace.
Only thing missing is swimming pool.
There seems to be a discussion. Everything screening.
You wanna hold it until we get a swimming pool plan, or you want to approve it without the pool?
Approve without for,
Okay?
I mean, it doesn't, so where does it say, oh, pool code
She's not
compliant?
asking for one, though.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're not doing the pool yet.
She is?
It's on the plan.
Well, they're pool code,
It's still up for discussion.
Maybe they haven't decided and haven't yet.
Should we cross that off, though?
Yeah, I'd cross out the fence.
Okay.
That's
yeah,
not
just
supposed
so
to be
leave the
on
fence
there.
up.
Because we wouldn't allow that.
We wanna know where it is.
Right.
All right, so I would motion to approve, minus the pool wire fencing until there's a pool. Because we'll wanna know how it ties in.
Right, that makes sense.
And the type of fence you have, the type of fence you have is sort of not ending loose.
Repeat that motion, please.
What's that?
Repeat your motion.
Motion to approve without the pool fencing until there's a pool to show us where it's gonna go.
All those in favor of that?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you very much.
Take care.
Happy Thanksgiving. What?
Turkey Day.
Turkey Day.
Turkey Day. Well, what if it's peanut butter pickle sandwich day?
Oh,
There's more turkeys in Nantucket than there are in America.
the what? There's more what?
Turkeys in Nantucket than there are in America.
Oh, well, that could be true.
We all
That's
call each
true.
other turkey, you know?
Two-legged turkeys. All right, so now we're on,
Are we holding that?
what?
Thorn
I
Road?
thought saw Nathan come in.
He's not here.
Ooh,
He was
So
here.
motion to hold 2 through 6, or 5 rather? Yeah, 2 through 5.
the whole 5 or 4 and 5?
2 through 5.
2, 3, 4, and 5.
Was there, yeah.
Two.
Ornwell's not here. Nathan?
He's not here either.
He's here a few minutes. There he is.
You guys really cruised tonight.
Well,
Everybody
because
dropped out.
everybody's Thanksgiving ate.
I thought I had plenty of time.
I know, but you didn't.
Glad I
I
got
did
here.
text her.
Well, we're glad you're here, Nathan, because it's making next Tuesday much easier for us.
Karen kept saying they're going to want to get out of there. It's Thanksgiving.
Would you want to say what you want to do, or shall I tell you what hashtag says first?
Perhaps that first.
All right.
2, 3, and 5.
This is
And 5 gonna hold.
4 and 5. 'cause they're all
Quince
moved.
Street.
You hold both of them?
Yep.
Are we?
So
Four
they're
Quince.
down here.
It's an integrated dormer and new mass, overwhelmed primary mass. Roof heights increase. Ridge competes with front mass eve. Prefer existing windows in L to remain in historic location. Then other, check visibility from Huzzy for rear mass. More info about age of existing L. Sanborn maps suggest that a separate structure may have existed in 1898. Shows similar size mass connected to main mass. Demo plan, window survey of L.
What, did they say what the date they thought the L was?
1898 is what we said, if I may interrupt.
1898.
8, okay, thank you.
Look at that signature. It looks like my dog had my pen. I think it must be Mountain Kennett, because there is station,
That's Brooke.
and there's Brooke. Okay,
Should I go ahead?
yes, please do.
Correct on the 1898 date. There were other revisions of the property. Basically, the main house is before 1834 says the inventory and Lancaster. Interesting enough, the Nantucket Preservation Trust has put a plaque on the building that says Henry Clark circa 1770. I haven't been able to find that anywhere. But even if it's so, the main mass is something that we're not touching much, say for removing a rear stair to make things easier for both floors. It's a stair that, you know how they can be very tight
Narrow
and dangerous. Anyway, it's not serving the purpose, they never used it, and enables them to renovate the bath on the second floor. So we're not doing a lot of work to the secondary mass either, except for new windows. I don't think you would find the existing windows, very precious. They, as far as that inventory goes, they stem mainly from the 50s or 60s. They're just not that old. And that goes for the tertiary rear L as well. I heard what the inventory, what the structures board said. Please keep in mind, this is about 45 feet from the road, this tertiary or secondary rear L. And it makes this house a lot more livable for them. The east side porch, which we're rebuilding into a legitimate screen porch, I would appreciate you taking into consideration that it's behind a garage for the most part, and that we are covering with it the mulled windows and door 4 in a row. So that porch will be surrounding those 4 mulled units. It is, right now, you can't even step out. I think the headroom is 6 feet 2 inches for that door and those windows on the east. I would say in addressing the roof, although the board said that it is too high, I guess they're thinking, we're still 5 feet 10 inches below the main mass ridge. I think that's considerable. And I do think this is a very good addition. This second floor dormer back behind this house. It's an unusual shape in this U shape. It's unusual. There are some out here, and there are some with second floor dormers. But this is, yes, it's affecting a Victorian, if you will, roof. But I think the owners in particular think it makes this house much more useful for them. I would only ask, I just got home this evening in time to do this before I walked here, before I drove here. If you had an issue with that rear sort of tower over the stair, I'm just offering back pocket that it become a shed roof instead of that towering, narrow gable that fits into the existing one.
Can I see the other one?
I'll give them both to you. So those would be sort of face-on and side elevation if you prefer that over that stair. Thank you, Madam Chair.
May I ask just about the edge of the house on different elevations so we can know?
Yes.
On your south elevation, the existing south elevation, the one with the little staircase tower.
Yes.
What age is that L, do you know?
Yes, we believe it to be 1892.
That is the 1892.
It's 1892 versus 1898. It was built 6 years earlier than the tertiary.
Okay.
L.
Hey, Diane, can I go, because I've actually been in this house?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so I was in this house about, I think last summer, and I walked through the main house, and, you know, we both live in really old houses, and I've got to say that the main house, it is very small. I mean, it's historic, but it is very old, and it has the kind of floorboards and the, you know, whatnot that make it, you know, really the characteristics of an old house. So my feeling is that this addition is going to make this house more livable, and I actually think that the new L is more appropriate in size with the main massing, in that
I thought the same thing.
the Victorian is so low,
Yes.
it's completely, it doesn't relate back to, I think the higher massing actually makes the house sit better. And did you get what I said about the old massing of the house? That it's one of those, I don't want to say this about an old house, but it's old and it's hard to live in. It's one of those pokey, old small houses.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this addition is going to bring life to this house.
Do you think that the new mass is overwhelming the primary mass?
No, I don't.
No.
I think it's complementary, actually.
Okay.
I like the second floor aspect of it, too. This may be because there's not enough room, but what about matching the shutters on the addition?
Jesse, we thought about
No.
that, but they don't even turn the east side, save for one. And
Right.
so it's possible. We have tried to separate them in case something like that. We tried to appropriately separate them. And the composition, by the way, of those windows, first and second floor, that was a very difficult composition to work, because inside the center lines of these first and second floor are totally whacked. They don't work.
Right.
So I think we came up with a nice comp. But if there's something you want us to explore, I think we could.
It's, yeah, it was just a thought. I think, I'm looking at it from a very two-dimensional way and not really seeing the depth in the difference between the two additions, and looking at it as more of a single building.
I tried to outline the front to kind of
Right.
pop it forward a little bit.
Yeah.
Because
No,
it
I
is
see that,
45 feet.
So it's way
It is way back.
offset, so it doesn't really,
So then the garage is on the left.
And
just
it's-
a thought.
I'm not trying to interrupt, but as well, in terms of shutters, typically, as you probably know, when you turn to the back rear Ls, they drop their shutters.
Yeah.
They just hardly ever continue. That goes for the splaying of the head of the window as well. They usually drop those after the main mass.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mark, what about you?
So for me, I think I like your first proposal of the south with this little, it reminds me kind of the Gull Island house, has that funky little, and a lot of the older houses do. So I actually like this better than your newer proposal.
Okay. Yeah, it is kind of.
But what I do like, Nathan, about the south side is that you have this one-story shed roof that is mitigating the more modern approach of a flush dormer. Is there any way that you could carry a little roof across?
We
You know,
originally,
like a little tie-in to what you have here as your screened-in porch across.
we originally did that, this is program. If we pull back even
No,
6
I'm
inches.
not saying pull back, put it in front of, even if it's just as an overhang.
Well, how would I go in front of the windows that are at the fascia? You see what I'm saying is, are you asking us to set, instead of a flush dormer?
No, I'm simply asking if there is a way that you could turn the corner with just a roof that would look like a porch roof in front of this. I know it will overhang your parking a little bit.
At the porch, over the porch?
So come here and I'll show you what I'm, right here, it's just a question, I don't know if you can do it or not. Carry a roof across here.
Oh, you know what? Gosh,
And
we did talk about a porch.
right
Yes,
here.
no, I get you. You know what will be interesting for me to go to them and say that you brought it up? Because I continue to, this is more money than they want to spend. That is something that they didn't, you know what they're going to say, light going into here. They didn't, you did not want to block the light. So
For
yes,
me, it's not taking away from your interior program, it's leaving that the same, it's just
Right.
softening it and making it look a little more like a,
Transition.
yeah.
you know, you know how it is. You have an idea and you think it's better with the porch, and they just didn't want it. And
Yeah.
so,
It might be about the light.
I
It
get
is,
that,
it is.
but this modern
Yeah.
flush dormer
Yeah.
is what the standout against the old house is for
Yeah.
me.
Mm-hmm.
I get it, it's set back, I went by there, I get it. Instead of asking him to push it back and not be a
Yeah,
flush dormer,
okay.
it was a suggestion to,
Try to make a transition.
yeah,
Soften that front.
something.
I felt the same, I gotta say, day one. What happened was, in the back of the new addition, that's all blocking off this program, blocking off any light in here. So, the only windows that, of course, the porch blocks more light, so those 3 windows are the only light really that's real direct.
Nathan,
So that was their argument.
what about an open trellis, like a very wide open trellis with the same idea, but completely open?
That,
Like a
oh, that's,
shed?
they'd go
You
with
could,
that.
yeah, and then you could do wisteria, it would look so sweet.
Just on the front, not a
Yeah.
porch, just
No,
just on the wall.
I'm not even talking about on the ground, I'm talking just the roof line. Something, and that might work,
In other words, just again, attached to the shingles.
correct.
Okay, so a quick sketch might be that we take the same line that Val was talking about, maybe right here, and we do. Is this what we're talking?
No, you don't even have to do that.
New sheet of paper, please.
No, I'll just draw it on here because he
Okay.
drew on it. I'm talking about a very simple,
Just straight across?
right here, it's just the roof part, nothing under here. It's an overhang.
How
And you
many
can
feet?
grow something on it.
But doesn't this come This,
That comes
this
forward.
trellis come forward?
Yeah.
Like a pergola?
Yeah, so it's like this, it's
Yeah.
just an open.
Yeah.
So you're saying it's a roof without sheathing
Yeah.
or
And you
shingling?
could-
No, I can
I don't
see
know
this.
if you have to do
There-
that, it's just it's lattice
You
more
know
than.
where they have that? On,
No.
Hussey Street, going out on the right as you make that bend to go to, Gardner and, you know, that crazy intersection, you're coming down
Okay.
Hussey, you look to the right, just, there's a house right there that has
It's a
that.
lattice roof.
Yes,
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
we would have 1, 2, 3 brackets.
yeah. Look.
Well, if that is what
show John.
wins the rest, I would say that we go that route.
I just have one thing I'd like to
Oh,
ask.
I'm sorry, Dan, I didn't, John, I didn't.
Can you see that?
Okay, yeah. Okay, that's a good idea.
Okay.
Good, thank you.
Is
Yeah.
on your east elevation, why do we have the mowed windows up next
I mean, like a faux roof,
You have just a little
so it's-
to
so
the
it's not
gable
flush.
on the second floor?
Because that's a small four-light? Am I hearing
Yeah,
what
yeah,
you're saying?
no,
The
absolutely.
small four-light up high?
No, it's the 2 6 lights.
You said east elevation. And just the
East.
porch,
Right?
those, yes, right now there's one window there. And we can't add any windows to the opposite side because it's within 3 feet of the property. Okay? So we got one window on the other side and we're just trying to get double the light, so that's why we mowed that unit. And remember, please, it's tucked back 8 feet.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it is.
Behind the,
In here.
I don't use any mowed units downtown wherever possible. That's an exception. And I think
And this is
it's appropriate because it's not seen, if you will.
yeah, if it's tucked in that alley.
And it's
then-
very
'cause I think
valuable to
it's-
light in that bedroom.
What about the dormer on the south? That you gave us a choice, the shed
I
or
heard
the
one,
gable?
I heard Val say she'd rather not.
I
Do the
like the
gable.
gable.
She liked the funkiness, I think, of that tall tower roof, which, you know, the Gull
It
Island home.
reminds me of the.
Yeah, it does, which I've always liked.
Yeah.
I have one of those at my house too,
Okay.
a crazy looking.
It's in the back, it's in the
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, I know. I don't have an opinion about it.
Okay.
Somebody told me there was a crazy house on Little Street.
Oh, ah. So can we hold for that
Yeah,
minor little revision?
I'm very excited about that. That
I
sounds-
sure hope they will, they might have, sorry, John.
I have a comment. I think the submission here is a hell of a lot better than looking at that turret sticking up. Just to do that. It's more appropriate cross there.
But in
That's
the
my
old,
opinion.
some old houses, they have that
Right. yeah.
turret.
Yeah, that's true.
This one here, but this isn't bad, but it's just the fact that you got a gable behind the gable, and you got a shed roof, brings
Yeah.
your eyes down. not
That's
going
why I
up.
drew it, because I thought you might, you know, the other one, the
It's a good
the
idea, but
gable,
anyway, that's my opinion.
gabled one is kind of what you'd expect to find in old
I'm
Sherwood.
on the fence.
I like
Bring
the
some
turret
pictures.
style. I like that tall kind of tower thing.
Somebody
That's,
make a
you
motion.
know, that's
I'm
not
sorry, Jesse's
my-
vote was,
The
Turret.
turret style,
maybe I can even talk them into a porch, but at the very least, what I'm hearing is the big change would be at least a lattice bracketed roof.
Something
Yeah.
to mitigate that
Yeah.
wall
Folks,
space.
may I ask, may I dare ask, could this be approved through staff?
No.
I think we'd like to see
Absolutely.
what you're gonna
Well,
draw
no, I'm
it
excited
as.
to see it. I want to
Okay.
see it.
Well, you can still see it, but yes.
No, but I wanna
okay.
But after it's been approved.
I got a little selfish there.
No.
Okay, I'll bring it back.
I'm excited. I want to see it. I think
Okay.
it's a great idea.
And it might turn into a roof, but everyone would be okay with that too.
Yes.
All right.
Thank
Well,
you, Nathan.
thank you very much, and I think these
Yeah,
are some
there-
good suggestions.
There are a couple on Hussey Street, as you go down on the right, and then
Yes.
just as you make that corner, it sits back a little, and
Where
it has
they
a new stone wall.
planted those cedars and
Yes,
the
just before
stones
that,
sitting on.
yes.
Linda, what are you here for?
It's Linda.
The what? I don't see you on here though.
Okay, should we make a motion to
you very
open that
much.
up? Thank you, Nathan.
We're holding, make a motion to hold for revisions.
Yes, no, a motion to hold for revisions,
And those were
if you don't mind.
All in favor?
Yeah,
Yeah.
all,
Thank you,
aye.
Nathan. Have a great Thanksgiving.
You all too. Thank you. Appreciate it.
I don't know where it is, it's up on the agenda, it's 5 Coon Street.
27.
Oh, yeah. 27 Penelope,
Yeah.
stoop shingles.
You my old Nantucket family.
They're calling it a stoop.
Okay.
You
I'll look at it.
stoop.
Would you like a stoop waffle?
It's like a
That's,
stoop.
this is actually what it's called. It's a stoop waffle, or as the Dutch call it, a stoop waffle.
Those are so delicious. I
They're
think I may
ridiculous.
have to go to
Hey,
Holland.
do you wanna hold off on holding Pilgrim and Broad until after the?
Which one is it?
So we vote.
Oh, well, that Matt is definitely not coming, and then who's, Tobias? I don't know. Yeah, I think-
Tobias is the only one left.
Yeah, so, ooh.
Well, he ain't here.
Do you want, should we?
Don't worry, you're up next.
I'm not.
So do we need to
I
vote?
find
Five.
solar panels
Back
in the
on
old historic
agenda?
district in the middle of the whole,
Do we need
it's
to
totally inappropriate.
vote five?
So it's good that he's not here.
We did it on hold.
It was council representation.
Yeah.
I think we can just open it back
Right here.
up.
Okay.
You know, Penny.
We have got, Hashab
No concerns.
says no concerns.
Okay, we'll start with a simple one first. They couldn't get the stairs, Diane, Val, picture's worth 1,000 words. They could not get the stairs to go straight out without going into the layout of the street. Of So they turned the stairs.
Right.
Anybody have a problem with that part of it?
No.
Okay.
Oh, these are
I don't know why that even passed in the first place. It was. Well, because it had, this is, to go backwards for a second, people who don't know this house at 5 Coon,
This is the firehouse.
this is the fire one that burned down.
Right.
And Penny and her husband got out just in time with their pajamas on from the second floor. And it burned. We gave them permission to tear it down and rebuild it pretty much exactly as it was. And the other thing that they changed, before we get to the other issue,
The only thing, Linda, though, it looks like that there was more steps.
they had to add more steps because they had to get it up out of the ground. So they didn't realize another step was going to have to be added to come out the door to get down instead of straight out. So there's one more step. The roof walk,
Turning.
this is being taken, guys, from the back, from York Street through 2 other houses and down a driveway. The roof walk hatch went from that side to that side.
Oh.
It's still wood. Anybody having a problem with that one?
No.
Okay. The real issue is, I don't believe on the original application it was marked whether it was architectural or 3-tab.
Wait. So the issue with the roof walk is that the legs don't go all the way through.
That's the way it was built originally. They recreated it. We didn't have that on the original application. Well, the only thing that's changed on that is the hatch moving from one side to the other, still in the back.
Why has it got all that building around it?
The sides.
Sides.
I don't know. I didn't build it.
Walls. There are walls. What are you talking about? The walls on either side of the scuttle.
There are no walls. Oh, that?
See
So
the-
you don't fall off, but it's on the back, and I took, this is a close-up picture, guys. This is not where you see it from. I
Right,
took
but-
that to show you where the hatch was.
But that's,
Here.
usually these are wrapped, these,
Here. No, we didn't want them wrapped. Here. They built it exactly as the original one.
I know, but that was wrong, because they made me wrap my,
This is the way it was
my
approved.
legs.
Now,
Well,
here's the view
lucky.
from York Street. You can't tell what's happening up there.
What are we looking at?
That's,
Just the hatch went from the right side to the left side, that's all we're doing on the hatch. It just shifted side because where we had originally approved it, it fell into the middle of the stair. So they moved it to the left side.
Oh.
It's still in the back.
okay, so
Okay.
moving on to the shingles.
Moving on to the shingles. On the application, as far as I know, is it wasn't marked whether they were 3-tab or architectural. The guy who did their roof did my roof. It's architectural. That's all he does.
Gray.
It's gray. It's dual gray, not the one that has the multiple colors. It is all one color. This is all you can see, guys. Picture.
It's here, too.
You cannot see
I know, but this is, why did they get to do this? I don't understand.
They
Why-
didn't get to do
Hold
it.
on.
I mean, yeah,
Let's back up for a second.
It's an as-built.
it's an as-built,
Yeah,
exactly.
it took them 3 years to get the insurance company to pay for it. They hired the roofer. The roofer didn't see whether they were 3-tab or architectural on the plan, and they went ahead and he did architectural because that's what he does most of the time. I know the guy. So you cannot see what the roof is, the main roof at all. The only thing you can see is the back end. Because the roof is so high and it's so close to the street. However, guys, right next door, literally next door, is driftwood architecturals.
Huh.
Yeah.
I'm not
And
aware
right
of that.
down the street, at the end of the street, are black architecturals.
So, you
Is
know,
there
we
a
don't know
fine
if
up,
those were
this should be
applied
fine,
for.
though. This is, it's not,
Yeah.
they didn't do what they.
Well, it's not a
said they were
closed
gonna do.
situation, it's still an open permit. If it was
The-
if it was a
the-
closed
You know,
permit.
it puts us in a bad position because we've been saying we only approve black in the old historic.
Right.
And the guy screwed up, so let the shingler pay for it.
That's not gonna happen.
Why not?
They don't have the money to replace the whole roof,
Well, we're
No,
not
they're
asking
not-
that.
no,
We're
they just
asking
and he
for-
does not either.
Okay,
Okay, so we have a situation here where the elderly couple in their late 80s are trying to get back into their house. They haven't been able to get into it because it's not finished. Number one. Number two, if you make a finding, you gotta protect yourselves by making a finding, and I think John and I were talking about possible findings before, is that it's on a lightly traveled side street. You can't see the main roof at all. The one next door is already architectural, and the one down the street is architectural. And should they ever replace the roof, it has to go back to 3-tab. We've done that before. In the old historic district. And they've had some pretty wacky colors down there.
You slap a
well,
fine
I'm
on
really
the elderly
sorry
couple
that,
because their
you
roof
know,
got wrong?
it's,
Or you slap a fine on the roofer, or?
No, you can't slap the fine on the roofer. And they don't have any more
I
money.
think that's going to be a good thing we should talk about.
Yeah, I mean, because, I mean,
Contractor deliberately
it's not the
does.
homeowner's fault, and it's the roofer's fault that they didn't read it right.
Well,
You don't wanna tell them to tear it off the whole roof and
You
do it
can't.
over.
They don't have the money to do that.
Yeah, I'm just saying, that would be a very extreme thing to tell someone on a fairly minor, problem. Infraction.
And
But the-
unfortunately,
but
it's
I guess
not
we
the
can't
colored
do
one.
that, so,
Not at the moment.
not at the moment, but maybe we should talk about it.
And HSAB had no concern about it because of where it's located, because it's a new structure, not an old structure. It wasn't a re-roof, it's a new roof, a new structure, lightly traveled street on the fringe. In fact, the historic district ends a block away at
what's the
Consu.
date of the house?
It was just built. The original house is from the 1850s, but this was just built, it's not done yet. They're still working on the inside part.
You're asking for us to pass an as-built.
Yes.
We don't need to listen that it's a lightly traveled street because you have
Right.
no proof.
But no, you have to make findings that we're comfortable with in
Right,
order to
but
do it.
that we're all comfortable
Yeah.
with, not the applicants. So don't.
I mean, it's right on Coon
hand us
Street.
A bunch of nonsense about that it's a
Not lightly
block
traveled, this is the-
inside the edge of the historic district.
Well, I'm just throwing stuff out there.
I understand.
I've known this family for 40 years, so, and I know their situation, and I know if they were to replace the roof in 20 years, it should go back to 3-tab. We've done that a couple of times in here over the years, when that's happened. Because as you recall, up until the last maybe 8 years, people were putting on architecturals without any permission because we never noticed if they were architectural or not. That's a relatively new problem for us.
Yeah, it's a minor infraction, it's just a matter of, how do we handle it? And, I don't wanna go after the old family.
No,
or,
nobody does, but we have, you know.
And you can't see the main
We have
main
to
roof.
state a condition, and I guess.
Yeah.
I have more problem with the freaking roof walk.
I do
ways,
too.
But if that's
I
how it
do
was
too.
before,
I mean,
and there's a
Do
picture
you have
of it.
pictures of it?
We have pictures in the old file.
Well, I'd like them.
I did exactly that at 27 Lily Street, and I was made to, by the
what-
HEC to wrap them, so that they,
I'd like to see
What do you want them
pictures.
wrapped with?
to wrap, because they go right into the roof, they don't have, they're not, built right.
What's not
Why have they got those
Look, they go.
elbows?
I don't know what it's called, but
Well,
you know, where this goes underneath the decking.
We need, something we've got to put in.
Well, again, we've
If
got to
it's-
take,
what
you've
is-
got to
when
take
we
the,
finish next, it
the
goes
view
to-
from York Street. That's the only place you can see this thing from at all, and you can't see what's going on at all. I gave you the close-up so you can see where the hatch went. You can see it was still wood, so we hadn't put a Velux in there.
I've said my, I'm gonna
I would like
fight
the
over it.
picture to include the picture of the old house with the old widow's walk, roof walk, so we can see that, so we can say it's a copy of the original.
Well, what is more relevant is what did you approve when the house was rebuilt?
Well, it
And
shows
John-
right here, the post going all the way through. Like the typical kind, that's the only reason I.
Well, I don't know what you mean by posts going all the way through. They do go into the attic.
No. Whenever we do roof walks, the legs go all the way through. They don't have this board wrap around. And that's been pretty standard, you know.
Oh, outside the board, I see what you
Yeah,
mean.
but-
Yep, yep.
So if that's how it was, and we have a picture to put in the file that shows that, then I'm okay with it.
But you can,
Yeah,
all
we're
you have
having-
to do
I-
is wrap them, and they're fine.
Wrap what?
Wrap these legs,
And why is that gonna help you?
because then it doesn't,
It's more more bulk?
yeah, I mean, that's, I don't know, that's what we
Okay.
had to do.
Well, they can go back up there and wrap the legs. I don't think that's gonna be a big deal.
No, it's not a big deal.
Okay, so are you guys okay with wrapping up the leg?
Well, she doesn't have to if we have a picture that shows it like this.
Well, I'm just looking at what we approved, and that wasn't, it was a stock picture, what you've showed me.
Is it the other way?
Yeah.
Right.
A lot of guys are doing this. In fact, right up the
No,
end of the
I know they
street,
had-
right up the end of the street, there are 4 of them wrapped the same way.
Well, that's.
And we've had
that's not the way
issues
you're
with that
supposed
over
to
the
do
years.
it.
Let's try and see how we're going to word this so that what we want is in the file to protect ourselves
Yep.
as to why we are approving a roof walk that
No,
does not look like it should, that the skylight does not look like,
The scuttle,
the scuttle is exactly what was
with the,
approved.
with the walls, that, I
who's the
mean,
we?
You guys.
do you see this one, do you see these walls?
Yeah, I see them. I see them.
Yeah, right
But
here.
I showed it to you close up, so you could see that the hatch was still wood, but you can't see the walls from York Street, which is your jurisdiction, which is like down the driveway and in the backyard and behind another house. So that was my only question. And when they weather in, you can't see them at all. But if you want the post wrap, that's something that's easy to do.
I want to have a picture included in the application going into the HCC, a picture of the old roof walk with the legs built this way.
I can't tell you what it is because I haven't looked at that picture
she's
in a
gonna look
long
that up.
time.
Yeah.
I gotta go back and,
So, but
John,
it
we have to
sounds
pull
like
out the
she's
old
willing-
file.
You're willing to say that you'll wrap them,
If that's what it looked like
Right.
before.
but would it wrap them now be better than what they are now?
Yeah,
Well, so what
Because
the
if you say
wrapping
other
does is
people are-
it builds out the post, and it will look like it's going through.
It'll be
like
closer to
it's
the corner boards.
supposed to.
Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, I'm just
This
trying.
comes out and it's
Yeah.
right underneath that decking.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if she's willing to wrap them, and you guys saying wrapping will be better, then I think that's a good
Yeah.
compromise.
But,
And then you-
but I want a picture in there of the old one anyhow. If we approve
We
the
have it
wrapping,
in the old file.
I want a picture of it.
Okay.
Of it in the old file.
It
So-
is, there's
Because
pictures of the whole thing.
So that-
Somebody built it,
So
and where
that's-
they got
Yeah, I know.
the description from, I don't know. That's something that we should have
Okay.
at least recorded somewhere.
Okay, so the issue would be to wrap the posts so they're a little heavier.
And then we have a picture on file of the old.
It's
Well,
in the
Linda,
old
so they
file.
run
It's in the
through
old file.
instead of stopping at the skirt.
I know what you're talking about,
Yeah.
Val, but how are you gonna wrap it around the skirt? This piece right here.
I think if you.
How you gonna wrap it around the outside of
I think if you
that?
wrap them, they'll come up to that board that's going all the way across.
Yeah, but I think Val's talking about something else. You're talking about ripping off the skirt board.
No, I think you can build them so that you can notch around that, and it looks like it's a through post. Somebody else is, we've had to do this with other people
Yeah, I,
before.
take a look at
Can't we
27
take
Lily.
those
They-
elbows off? Can't we take these off
can't.
altogether?
Oh, I don't care so much about that, it's this, the going through part.
Right.
And
No,
you
I-
usually don't see this, the metal attachment there.
Yeah, you do. They're all over town now. It's required by the building department.
Well, but if you wrap it, you don't see it.
Right. You have to
They don't
sort
look
of
strong.
back cut it.
No.
Yeah, but you
And if
look
you
at all
wrap
the roof
them,
walks
at
now,
least
they're
it'll
required to
make
have them.
The legs look strong enough to hold the roof walk up.
Can I try a motion?
Yes.
Okay.
Does anybody have a
Can
pen?
can we have a motion to wrap the columns,
The posts.
posts, with like kind cedar, or
Oh, yeah.
whatever it is, right?
Yep.
Make sure there is a picture on file of the previous widow's walk.
They're
And
in
then-
the old file.
And then as for the shingles, I mean, I just feel like we should put some kind of condition in there. So we're stating that this isn't right, but we're not really, and just saying next time it's replaced, it goes to architectural black.
It has to come
No.
to the
No.
board, it
No,
has to be approved.
it was already approved
Three
gray,
tab.
they go to 3-tab.
Okay, well, whatever is approvable for that area.
3-tab or architect, that's gonna be like, we're all not gonna be here anymore, but. So either 3-tab gray, which is what they have, or architectural black, which is what you guys approved.
They have to apply for the next roof change.
Yeah,
Without
Anyway.
like kind.
yeah.
Yeah, I was just trying to make some.
Yeah, so
type
they're
of
not getting a
So
like-kind
it's on
replacement
file.
next time, they're gonna have to come back in here.
So we've stated, and I just,
Okay, so
And do
the
you wanna add-
motion would be,
Diane, do you think you're more comfortable? Yeah, John has a comment, but do you
Oh.
think it's more comfortable if you say it's a new house? It's not the old house, it's not a new, it's a new roof because it's a new house that burned.
does it say that on the application
No, you guys already approved it the first time.
Right.
before?
But you can make that finding that this is a new house, it's not an old house that has a new roof.
But I don't think that solves our policy of black.
It doesn't, but it's just another thing to say, if you wanna say something
it's
else.
just, it's all it is.
Yeah,
Johnny, what do you
Yeah.
want to say?
Yeah, I want to say one thing, at McDonald's, all right, my own
you know him, John.
my own personal friends, that Penny's husband Hector had a combat ship we served together in Korea. We've known each other for almost 65 years,
Yeah.
you know? And for that reason alone, so I don't get involved in anything, I'm going to recuse.
Okay, good
You
idea.
know, but I want to know why I recuse.
That's a very honorable
Thank you.
reason
Thanks,
to
John.
recuse, and
You're doing okay, John.
The motion would be,
What I got?
Yeah.
so good.
Okay, motion to approve through staff with the roof walk posts to be wrapped with, I put like kind material.
Yeah,
Okay. A picture of the original structure and roof walk submitted into the file, and they must apply the next time the roof shingles are replaced.
Perfect.
Anything else, Madam Chair?
but could we preface the whole thing saying due to the fact this is a,
Motion to approve due to the fact it's a new structure.
yeah,
Okay.
Diane, did you want to mention the architectural one next door also?
no, I don't
Okay,
care about that because we don't know it was approved in the first place.
that's an older roof, too.
yeah, well, more likely it was.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Johnny, are you in favor of that?
No, he's recusing.
He's recused.
Oh, that's
I started that motion.
So it must be yours.
So it's all set.
It's all done.
Are you gonna write that down, or are you gonna put her,
I'm going to say per,
See minutes.
yeah,
notes, minutes in file, that's what I'm
Okay.
going to say.
there,
All the work you do, Terry.
okay.
Thank you, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Have a
Happy
good Thanksgiving.
I'll get a hold of them. They're in Florida right now.
What?
They're in Florida.
Oh, your kids?
No, the Penny
Oh, yeah.
and
Oh,
Hector. Because they can't come back here yet.
not the time to come back.
Yeah,
No.
let's just wait till spring
They
anyway.
really wanna go back though, I
Still
haven't
need
seen
to
the
do
house
some
since
Pilgrim
about
Lake Broad.
2 years ago.
Very sad.
31 Pilgrim Lake Broad in the Minute's.
Oh,
Oh,
so
here we go.
motion to hold 31 Pilgrim and 8 Broad for representation.
Yes, all those in favor?
Aye, 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 aye.
And then what, motion to approve the minutes of November 7th?
Yes.
Yeah,
Aye.
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 Motion-
Approve
November
minutes?
Approving the
7th,
minutes. Are you gonna recuse?
Minutes.
Minutes,
Yes, minutes.
I've got no problem.
And
minutes.
is there any other business?
Motion to adjourn.
Aye.
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 That's another business.
All right, we got some views this week to do, huh?